So I will call the meeting of the City of Alpine Hotel Occupancy Tax Committee to order at 5:31 p.m. We have we have a member of the public. Do you have any comments at this moment?
Yes.
Well then, please.
If I'm allowed to, I'll be quick because I know you guys have a
Each
lot
person
of.
in attendance, so you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
But yes, you may.
It'll be under that.
So tell us your name and.
Lisa Nix, Ward 2, Alpine Gem and Mineral Show.
Okay.
Good evening, members of the committee. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. As you know, our most recent event fell just after the grant application deadline. I'm here tonight to provide the proof of concept for the request currently before you. The 2027 GEM Show will be the 36th annual event. We're a nonprofit club, purely volunteer, no paid employees, admission is free, family friendly. We invite the City of Alpine, McDonald Observatory, Keep Alpine Beautiful, along with several other groups to our event on Saturday. Our results this past year were a huge success. We hosted over 2,000 attendees. And through our drawings and our calculations, we had over 1,000, over half, we actually calculated 56% were from out of town. So we found that really awesome, right? The vast majority of our vendors are all from out of town and they stay multiple nights as well, all in hotels and Airbnbs. The hotels were actually booked that weekend. So we aren't just hosting a local gathering anymore like we used to for many years. We're successfully importing tourism dollars into our community. While these numbers are strong, we have reached a pivotal moment where we need to scale. The promotional funding we've requested for next year is critical for bringing the event's activities directly into our downtown core. Our vision is a full city reach where the Gem and Mineral Show isn't contained to one venue, the Civic Center, but flows through our streets and businesses by moving activities downtown. We keep those 2,000 plus visitors central to our local shops and restaurants for longer periods, further maximizing the economic multiplier effect of the show. This concept will bring people downtown, staying longer and spending more money. Beyond geography, this funding allows us to elevate the quality of our programming. We want to incorporate local and visiting artists along with hands-on demonstrations of lapidary work and silversmithing. These high-value interactive activities are what turn a show into an attraction that people will travel across the state to attend. However, bringing in these experts and setting up the infrastructure for live demonstrations is only possible with the help of the hot tax funding. It is a bridge between a successful local event and a premier regional destination. We have the data to prove we can draw a crowd and fill hotel rooms. Now we're asking for your partnership to help us target our marketing even more aggressively. Unlike events in our city that cater to tax-exempt groups or private businesses that seek funding for events that they profit on, our attendees and vendors contribute directly to the hotel occupancy tax base. Thank you for your time and for helping us grow this event into a cornerstone of our city's tourism.
Thank you, Lisa.
I have a quick comment if anybody cares. I have a quick comment. May I?
John, I think we should wait because at this point in the agenda, it's only one way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Are you ready? I have another meeting in an hour.
Okay, so before an hour's up, we'll allow John to make his comment. If you will hold it for a moment. Okay.
Do you say hold it?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the public
It's real
comment.
quick. It's real short.
Yeah, the public comment can only come one way. That's at least that's how the mayor handled it.
Yep, that is.
So now we have public hearings, but we don't actually have any topics for public hearings, so we're going to move along from that. Then we also don't have minutes from the previous meeting, so we're going to dispense with that agenda item, which brings us to discussion items, which we're now open to discuss all of the applications before us. And John, do you have any comments?
Yes, I just would like a quick shout out to Heather for the fabulous job she did last year at the Austin Film Festival. All the people were very excited. She was just brilliant. Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, thank you. I see that was more in the order of a public comment rather than a reply. I see.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, we're in discussion mode.
Okay, discussion mode. This is all new. We never have anybody here, so
Yeah.
this is cool. Lisa did a great job. What I noticed this last time at the festival that she had was, I mean, that you almost, it was so crowded trying to get through there. And I love the fact that you put the kids' side on the back side, you know, on the other end of it. How did that go for you? The kids, because I know you got money. That's the first time you've ever gotten a grant for helping with the kids at that.
Yeah, it was great. It brings in people, right? It brings.
It makes it a family affair. It makes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we had quite a few.
Oh, actually, Lisa, come up to the mic so John can hear you. And then the recording.
Yeah,
too.
no, it's a good incentive and it brings in the family, brings in more people. Anything I think that can get people to come to Alpine and stay longer. You know, anything that takes time and
So you kept that, what I'm.
okay, yeah.
Is that you had the bouncy house I noticed and all of that. So it was almost like a little kinder care for the kids while the parents were doing the rock thing.
Right, and the bouncy house was, I believe Heather can correct me, but was Keep Alpine Beautiful? Because we had a whole street fair going on. It was really awesome. It really brought people. We went down to Fifth Street and having an after party.
How much did you get last
Um,
year?
fif-
Hot grant?
I think it was 5,000, right around
5,000.
5,000. Yeah.
Remember it.
5,200 maybe. And it was amazing. I think with Chris's help targeting how we did, it was like it it was great. And this year's even going to be better.
And I've seen going on this last year within the community. So I
It's pretty
appreciate
big.
that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, and that's what we want. And I want next year, I need to advertise further in advance, and I'm going to just like this summer, I need to start pulling people almost, you know, because the rock world's kind of weird. I shouldn't say weird, but
They're different.
they're different, and I need to pull those groups here. You know, I want to get into some rock hunts and give them more reasons, but they need a schedule. They need that, and I need your guys' cooperation to help me get there.
All right. Good job. Thank you.
So, what we're looking at now on the screen, which is small for you guys, but it's the required attachments checklist, which is something that last year I brought to you beforehand, because one of the things we have to do is confirm that every application has all the materials that are required, or we can't consider it. And so this morning, I was going through this, should have been done earlier, but I was doing it this morning, and I found in the packet, there were a lot of applications that had no additional attachments, and that alarmed me. But also, the first one I encountered, I was Guitar in the Big Band, which is the top one on your new sheet, and he had CC'd me when he submitted the application, so I knew that he'd submitted the extra attachments, which made me suspect that some of these other applications had as well. And so I was working with Vianney through the day, and there were, 6 or 7, 9 that needed additional attachments. And so at this moment, I'm going through and updating the sheet. So we're confirming that we can discuss all of these. And so let me see, we've got Museum of the Big Bend. There's a report. And so this, the slash is a no and the X is a yes. And so we've got then an event schedule, so I'm gonna take that. Got a budget. That. Drafting really quick.
have on the board that you're working on? It's in our packet or something.
This one is not because it's usually just a yes or no. That a question I've already answered and not to waste your time, but this is the first. I'm getting to see this and you need to have them as we go through the review as
Right.
well. So the Bluegrass Festival, we have the schedule. Getting close here. And their economic impact report. Have their report. Their market plan is really long and robust. Bye, I already, that was when Kirsten CCV, so I had those already and confirmed them previously. Cowboy Poetry, that was one where I knew they would definitely have all their answers, so I was shocked and dismayed. Not to see them. There's- this is the archive. Cool. They're, I don't know the heading for it, but here's a description of the economic impact, so. Meaning. Question marks is theater the big one. I didn't see was a report and an economic impact. Didn't ask me. So, my recommendation is that I follow up with Gianni on Theater the Big Ben. We'll go ahead and score it, and then we'll confirm whether there was a missing file for them, because I didn't ask her. I gave her the list of ones to look at. And I didn't give her that one, so. So given that, we now have all but one that have every part attachment in your possession. And so.
I can bring you the originals, Chris, if you want. I have the stack of originals right here.
The main thing I'm wondering, Gio, is if there was an additional attachment to Theater of the Big Ben that got missed like those others. So we'd have to go back to their original submission. I don't know if it was in person or emailed. But if it was
Okay.
emailed, there might be a document that wasn't printed.
Okay. Which ones, what's the document specifically?
It was a Theater of the Big Bend, and we're looking for the event report from the last year and the estimated attendance and economic impact.
So it's
statement.
number 25. Okay.
Yes. And so that would have been emailed probably by Margie Scott.
Number 24.
Number 24, not 25, Jim.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got my own row numbers on this spreadsheet that are not quite matching, so.
Okay, let me look and then I'll bring
Thank
it to
you.
you. No problem.
Yeah, and even if we get the answer before next meeting, I think that'll work fine too.
Okay.
So now we'll direct our attention to the first big
Can I
stack.
ask the question real quick? Not to draw this out, but how many on here are actually new submissions? I mean, I know what I marked as I think are new submissions.
Yes,
That have never submitted
I
before.
can tell you that. Let's see. Recommendations, I marked those. No. Less.
Where's my pens go?
Okay, so new are the Alpine Humane Society, Happy Christmas, that has never been funded. I've got an error there I need to fix on Big Bend Film Commission, that's not new. Skelton's Runway is new.
Okay.
The American Legion Motorcycle Rally is new. That's 1, 2, 3 so far. Sul Ross Athletics is very new. The Pioneer Reunion, Big Bend Natural History Association is new.
I missed one of them. Solar State Athletics is, yeah, you're right about that.
Family Crisis Center, I marked as new because they weren't funded last year, but it is one we have funded many times in the past. It's a different date. They're now doing a Mother's Day dance. It was graduation for a long time. So if that one's new, that comes to 6. The Geo Fest is new. Comes to 7. The Sul Ross University Athletic Benefit is new. That makes 8 in the archives of the Big Bend. So we have 9 new out of 156. Is that right? Yes.
Pen, but one of mine I may have marked. But that's okay, it's not that big a deal. So my question here is, we have a lot of repeats every year, every year. And do we just keep funding those without them ever getting off on their own feet? I mean, some of them I can understand, but. And then it takes money away from what might be bringing new business into the area, a new event.
Potentially that is true. Historically, there have been arguments on both sides of that point. At one point, 3 or 4 city managers ago, there was a policy put in place to explicitly have a cycle where they got
cycle
less
off.
money and then none at all.
Right.
There was the pushback from the events, which is understandable. But at that time, the reasoning has been our sponsor pool in our local community is not large. And as an economic development investment from the city, it has been determined that, a good working event, that investment brings a return in terms
A
of.
good working event wouldn't have problem finding sponsors generally because people realize that they're coming. It's that old thing of supply and demand. But I see us as nothing to me. And how much money do we have for the hot fund? Because I know it has to be cut back due to all the military at the hotels.
It is down, the best that we could do was to look at our year-to-date for the first 2 quarters of last year compared to this year.
Right.
And we were down, but only 8%. But I know, it's been surprising. And last year, our total collections were flat. We expected a decrease, but it held steady. And I think some of that is the kind of scarcity pricing of the automatic, when their occupancy hits a certain level.
They
the
pay
room rate
higher
goes up.
taxes to the privates that are coming in versus.
It's not that, it's that the leisure travelers coming in, because the military doesn't pay the tax.
Right,
They
exactly.
just
That's my
book the
point.
rooms.
And they've been
Right.
picking up the hotels.
So those remaining rooms, because they're not taking up all the rooms, they're taking up about 100 rooms, is what I understand. There's the fewer remaining rooms then have a scarcity and
That
a price
drives it
increase.
up, right.
Yeah, and so the larger hotels have an automated formula, like once they hit a certain occupancy rate, the price goes up and up and up. And so
Right.
I had been told that last year's Sul Ross Rodeo, that it was maybe $300 or $400 to stay at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that I think is.
But that drives away also, to me, people coming in for events.
Oh,
Because the
certainly.
rooms are so expensive and they
Certainly.
can't afford them.
It just
Except with those
explains,
dorms behind Soul Ross and put the military in there. They can walk those stairs.
it just explains why our collections aren't down.
Right.
But yeah.
That was a good, I never thought about that, but that makes sense. Okay.
But
Alright.
you're absolutely right that fewer rooms, higher rates is gonna translate to fewer people coming. And the day that the military leave is gonna be a difficult one for our entire hotel industry because
It won't be if you have events going on and people coming in, but then, you need some newness. And some of the stuff that I see that we keep funding is actually not performing like it used to. Just
Well,
my
that's-
spin on it.
That's what this committee's here for,
Okay.
is to consider
good.
those things,
I-
because
I-
there's
Thank
not,
you for helping. me.
yeah, there's not, the city council has not set a policy one way or another on the topic. You know, that's why they come to you to think through what's the soundest strategy. Now, the council's gonna review that strategy, and if they decide that they come to a different conclusion, they can make adjustments to the recommendation.
So, and that, I guess as an add-on, that would be the one I would, I know we go down the list as they came in. I don't know if that is
Yeah.
something we have to do in that order.
We have to score them, but we're not required to do them. in a
Score them
specific-
as they,
In a specific. order.
if I ruled the world, we'd score the new ones first.
That's fine with me.
The new, and then we would take all the
We're
others after
Dig
that.
into
that
It's a little more, but it's not a problem.
No, that's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't have to do it right now, but in the future, I mean, I just
No.
think it makes more sense to look at the new stuff first.
Does anyone disagree with that procedure? It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. The first one is new, so that makes that easy.
That would be
Table of
Humane
contents.
Society, right?
Yes, and that is the Humane Society. The first page we have, oh, it is, yeah, so the first page is that document, and then it's more get oriented. So, and I'll pull up my screen. It's
on the back side.
Oh, there we go. You can have mine if you want to.
No, no,
both at the
good.
same time.
Good, thank you. No, no,
Okay.
if I can flip.
Okay, so Humane Society Mountain Country Christmas. So we are estimating, does anybody have any questions about the event itself?
So they've never, I know that the Humane Society only took it over last year, but do y'all remember that this event, when it's been run by other groups, have they gotten any?
Not that I recall, I don't
Interesting.
remember
Okay.
that event ever being funded. They're asking for $1,200 in advertising.
It's not massive.
Very true. It is, okay, they estimate 100 room nights from vendors and travelers. It's a
Day Christmas Festival. So what is the? Check needs to be at.
the event to be held. It's in the Civic Center.
That dog show.
Well, that's smart of them to incorporate that. So forever before that I knew of, this was the women's club, is that right? Before these guys took it over?
That's right. The Women's Club has done it for quite a while, but before that, it was a 2-year cycle, and
Okay.
several different nonprofits would do it.
Okay.
Now, I look at their marketing plan, I see a $200 Facebook ad campaign, but then they say most of their marketing is actually free, so I'm not sure yet in their.
I mean, people say Facebook and things like that. That's all free. You can go online.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't know
When I
Facebook
look
was
at,
policy.
when I look at their. That's last year's
Mm-hmm.
budget. I'm not seeing how they're gonna spend $1,200.
Yeah.
But the first question is impact on stays. That is the first weekend of December, which is traditionally the weekend when the parade is, things like that. Mountain Country Christmas is a part of the menu of Alpine Christmas events that are promoted at that time. So does anybody want to give a
We don't do the parade that weekend anymore. It's the weekend after. We separate.
That's correct. Thank you. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
John, would you like to give a 0 to 10 on impact on stays for Mountain Country Christmas?
I would. I think an 8 is probably fair, especially for a renewed event.
Okay. My averaging window, we have actually only 3 people scoring right now. Rick, would you like to score at this time? You weren't in the past, but there's only. Okay.
So because I'll end up seeing it from a council.
You're right,
standpoint.
you're right.
Yes.
Kirsten, would you like to?
So 300 people, just to kind of bring me back, since. Do we have sort of an average number of, like, for an event, bringing people into town?
Heather would know that.
Well, you're going anywhere from Viva Big Ben and Art Walk.
Right,
which can be in
huge.
the thousands.
Right,
To, let's say, a really poorly performing event, it might be 25 or 50.
okay, so 300 is a pretty good number.
Yeah, it's in the low middle, I would say.
Okay.
Of that.
I would
Okay.
say 300 though is total, not out of town.
It's total,
Mm.
not out of town. Oh, I see,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. I might go more 6.
Joanna?
I see it as cause Alpine's so. Friendly, like with the animals and stuff like that, that it could go big. I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
Bigger, I think.
Oh. Okay, so that's 6.67. Professionalism and planning and sound business plan. Joanna?
I mean, they're trying.
I'll give them a 9. I have a lot of faith in them to be able to pull off a really good event.
Okay, John, professionalism and business plan.
I think it's pretty fair. And besides, it's important to note they're not asking for a fortune.
And did you say 7?
A 7, yes, I did.
Your mic garbled just a little bit. Okay, capacity to put on the event. John, what do you think of that?
6.
Kirsten?
10.
6. 10, Joanna?
Give them a 9 for that.
Okay, diversity of revenues.
It looked to me like they had pulled in some sponsors.
They have, and I
Yeah.
like that about it. That's one thing I saw for sure.
Yeah, then last year they brought in 12,450.
And that's from a bunch of people.
Oh, they're that's true. They estimated 50%, but I think that's inaccurate.
I'm just looking at the list of the people from last year and the groups that they brought in. And I love how they have brought in a lot of people to do in-kind things.
Mhm.
I mean, 10 local musical acts, that's a lot of people to bring in. Lions, the city, BBT, True Value.
It's less than 10% of their total asking.
But of total event costs, actually, because their expenses were only $2,000. So that actually is, their revenue was much higher. So it's actually, that is about right, it's 50% of their expenses I was looking. So now generally we've considered 50% could be, looking more for a lower number than that, but
Okay.
Kirsten, what would you say for diversity of revenues? If they spend 2,095, they're asking for 1,200. That's roughly half.
Okay, but we don't count the in-kind?
That's what I was looking at. If you count the in-kind, it's 10%.
That's all very true. And I do usually count in kind, so that's a difficult. It's a weird calculation but
Okay,
that's
well,
for you say.
I'll give a 8.
Okay, John.
8.
Newness. The event's been going on for a really long time. So would anyone like to give them points for newness or innovation?
Well, okay, let me look there. I feel like they were doing some things different than have been done before. Where was I looking to see that?
Just remind me, what's our tax rate on, tax?
It's,
An 8%?
yeah, well, we get 7.
It's,
Yeah, the state gets 6. Okay, give them an innovation point.
so just a piece of data, at 100 room nights, $200 a room. That would bring in $1,400 to 5 months.
Oh, okay.
That's for one night.
I'm following their data. It says 100 room nights from vendors and travelers. I just did,
Oh, I see what
100
you're
times
talking
200
about.
times 0.07 is $1,400. That's what hot funds are gonna raise.
That
It
is
more
good
than
to know.
offset the 1,200.
It would. So you gave them a 5 out of 10 for innovation. Does anybody else want to give any?
Yeah, I'll give innovation points. So I do think they're trying to do new things with it and they 5.
Okay,
I think this area, if you had more events like that for the furry friends, people would be more into it.
John, would you like to give any newer?
You know, I hate to be a miserable, you know what, but I give them a 3 because I don't think anybody's going to look at them as innovative or new because of the title.
Okay. But then I'm gonna check our request to see, so that is successfully scored. Then we're looking at Skelton's Runway, which is number 8. Right after the Ranch Rodeo.
And innovative points are extra, right? That's not, it says, yeah, right.
Page numbers.
Yeah, it's page 61.
Thank you, sorry.
Okay, so let's see, this is the so this is Deering, Sul Ross Homecoming. They're estimating between 300 and 500 attendees, approximately 40 to 60% traveling to outside the Alpine area. So this would be an alumni event. I could imagine extra activities and directed advertising increasing the number of alumni who would come, so that their promotions are successful. That, you know, there's 2 things. They're adding to an event that is already an attractor, so all of the impact is not theirs, but they could make a difference in adding to that impact. So that's something to consider when you're looking at performance.
Okay.
So when you're ready, Joanne, I'll let you give the first score on.
Well, I'm
Impact
just gonna
on
tell you,
scale.
I, as much as I support having the full loss homecoming activities, I really think that falls back on the school to do. And to be honest, he just happens to be right next door to him. So I kind of struggle with giving him money for people that are gonna probably come in for homecoming anyway.
That's the question. It's like, do we believe that his promotion is going to be effective enough to bring additional people to homecoming?
I think it'll bring it to his homecoming, but not
Well, I mean,
necessarily the school.
because it would be for both. You know, if
Yeah.
he's successful, like, let's say the scenario I can imagine where he is successful is you've got an alumnus who's on the fence and then they get a promotion from Skelton's and go, oh, though, this sounds like it's even more fun than and maybe I will go, you know. So I can imagine that scenario. So the question is, how many of those people do you imagine? But it's for you to say what
I'll
your
give it
zero
a
to
two.
a two, okay. Kirsten, what do you think?
Impact on stays. I think this actually might. I would love to see Sol Ross be able to develop, its alumni group as big as possible. I feel like his location right there is perfect for that, right? And I love that he's using, or they are using that to bring people in on top of what, just really like sort of snowballing on what might already happen, but as you say, bring in more people that might look at that and go, I wouldn't have gone otherwise, but that sounds fun. Sounds like they're really trying to ramp it up. So I think impact on stays, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay,
And how many did he say this was gonna?
he estimated, well, three to 500 with 40 to 60%. So let's say at half of that would be 150 to 250 people.
That would have not come otherwise.
That's what, well, he's saying attendees, and so he's not distinguishing.
Yeah,
between-
that's what I'm saying, that he would not
Yeah.
have attended otherwise.
That is a valid question. That's what, yeah. John, what do you think? Impact on stays for this?
Oh, I agree with most of the things that have been said. I think it's, let's see what happens next year.
What number 0 to 10 for impact on
Two,
stays?
two, 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 two.
All right. 7. Professionalism in planning. Kirsten, sound plan,
Yeah, 9.
9. John,
I'll give him an 8 for that, absolutely.
okay. Joanna, professionalism and business plan.
6.
6. Capacity to execute on the event. John?
Who?
Skeletons. Oh, he said 2. I thought he said 2.
Yeah.
They could execute.
Okay, and diversity of revenues. What did it say on there? They estimate 41% of their budget from the grant. John, what would you say for diversity?
4.
Joanna?
2.
2, Kirsten?
4.
Three. Does anyone, newness, it is new, but
It
does
is.
anyone want to give extra credit for newness? Or innovation? Feel free to shout out either one.
I'm gonna pass just because I don't see the revenue coming back to Sol Ross. I see it going to.
Yeah, there's no requirement. So when we come to those, I'm just gonna allow you to call it out, and we'll leave it for 10 seconds or so. If nobody says anything, we'll move on. So anybody?
Yeah, I would like to give innovation points. I really like that they are trying these. I mean, they try new stuff. I like that. 5.
Okay, 5. John, anything
4.
for innovation or newness?
Yes, innovation.
Okay, thank you. Skill. It's got 3 extra points for innovation. The next new application is Big Bend American Legion Post 79 Motorcycle Rally, which is the one after the next one. So we're looking just after the Sol Ross Rodeo. All of these pages with the master entry list.
Now, were any of these sent in after the deadline?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't see them if they weren't.
Okay.
I think in fact one was submitted after deadline, but it's not.
Okay.
Isn't that why you date them over here? That's the.
That's what I thought I saw too, the dates in on that list that were the 8.
Oh, right, yeah. No, that's that's an error,
Okay.
because I remember when they submitted those.
Okay.
Good. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right there.
So we're looking now at page 102. The motorcycle rally, that's this American Legion Riders State Rally, so that's an existing event that they're bringing to Alpine. They expect 400 to 600 riders. Like I said, it's a pre-existing event, it's an existing group, similar to like a conference coming.
I really like this one because I think it's gonna, we used to have a lot of the groups, the motorcycle rallies come through and they really died off, you know, and hopefully this would bring it back because it's such a beautiful area to ride a bike through.
Oh, boy.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is.
And we need to get that going again because I think that's something we've lost.
Yeah, and that is something that, once they ride, I hear they're likely to come back.
Exactly.
Do it again. Yeah.
Once they see that everything's. I mean, I think it's just out of sight, out of mind for them sometimes. Just get them back out here.
Well, Kirsten, would you like to give a 0 to 10 for impact on hotel stay?
Really big,
Mhm.
9.
Okay, Joanna?
I'm going 10 or
Okay,
I
John?
really believe it.
You know, this has a great potential. I'd like to give it a 9 as well.
Okay, professionalism and planning, John?
I'll stay with a 9. I
Okay,
think they're gonna do a great job. This is right up their alley.
okay, Kirsten.
Yeah, 9.
9, Joanna?
I'm gonna give it another 10. He's been fighting. If you read his notes, he's been fighting for 2 years to get that rally out here. So
Okay.
he fought for it. I appreciate that.
And then capacity to execute the event, Joanna?
10, they can do it. It's
10.
very good.
10.
Yeah.
John?
I'm sorry, a 10.
Okay. Our first
10, 10,
10 across
Yeah.
the board. That's our first round number, actually. All the others have been 2
Well,
decimals.
I'll make mine 9.8 if it'll make you feel better.
I'll do it.
Oh, dear God. I'm in trouble.
For $7,500.
Okay, then diversity of revenue.
Okay.
And that's 18 to 20%. That's our lowest yet.
Yeah.
John?
I think an 8 is pretty fair. I think they'll do fine.
Here's
10.
10. Joanna?
They're gonna kill it. 10.
Three. Would anyone like to give newness or innovation?
Give it a 10 on newness. No. Innovation, not so much.
Okay. Feel free, either one. Or both.
It's new out here for us. He said, so I'll give 5 for each. 5 new and 5 innovative.
Great. John, either one?
8 and 8.
Okay.
It could just boom. It could be really great.
Okay.
Yay.
And
So then-
just a tidbit of trivia, at 500 people, it would generate $7,000 in op funds.
Wow.
But on top of that, sales tax,
Mhm.
it's a money.
So next,
And they come back.
Zoros Athletic, which is Fair Spirits of the West. Okay, that's page 157.
Question.
Yes.
So it looks like it was more of a blanket request. Is that correct? It wasn't pointed at any specific athletic event. It was more of a
That is true.
umbrella.
They're essentially
Okay.
asking the city for support for their program, which they are making an argument that the program brings heads to beds and therefore they have a case. And
Students bring heads to beds.
well,
So this is the athletic concert, November.
no, there's 2.
There's 2.
Yeah, this one is this is not the concert that we haven't got to that one yet. This one is from Amanda
Amanda
Oh,
Workman.
gotcha.
Yes, and this one is actually at the athletic facilities and it's event expenses through the year, facility equipment enhancements.
Number 11.
Yes, correct.
I just want to make sure I got the right one.
It's number, it's like,
No.
oh yeah, there's two numbers on that page. It's number.
Oh, you're
thir-
right, there is. I didn't
13.
catch that. Yeah.
And then 11.
I've got 13.
It's
I've
right
got
after.
Alpine Art Walk is number 11.
Yeah, but see, there's this 11.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
So, yeah,
Looking at the scoring sheet.
right, it's right after Spirits of the West. And the
Oh,
athletic
gotcha.
concert is number 27, 25.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So there's, we're ignoring.
Yeah, I'm looking at these numbers right here.
Yeah, and I'm looking at those. So I'm scratching out that outer number.
To move all mine over.
Okay, so we're actually talking, yes, about
Okay,
number 11. Sorry,
Gotcha.
Ray.
I'm going over.
Or on this page, we had,
Yeah, I know. And I'm looking at this page. Yes. Yep, okay.
okay.
Oh,
So yeah, this is an unorthodox request, but there's an argument, especially with the upgrade of the football team. You know,
Well, the whole athletics program is now
all
NCAA
of it,
D2.
yeah, exactly. So it's not just football, it's
Baseball,
everything.
basketball, all of them, men's and women's.
And so, yeah, there's a, I don't know much about it, but I'm told that's a significant difference
It
in
is.
attraction of,
That's a huge difference.
you know,
I would just like to say that I do not see increased traffic because of Ross games at this point. Like,
I've seen less since they went up.
that's what we've seen more of because I don't know why, but we don't see impact whenever there's a game. The other thing, I'm driving, so I'm just gonna say this quick while I can. I think you guys really need to look at the room nights because if we shouldn't be counting the teams because they're not paying tax just like the military. They're from universities, so their tax would be waived. So those room nights, you need fans, not the teams.
okay, thanks, Heather.
She's right.
Mhm.
So, and you can't put a number to that.
Well,
Me?
she estimates 3,000 visiting fans to all of the
Games.
games on all of the sports, essentially.
But they would have that when they got the money or not. I mean, because they're gonna have the games and the parents are gonna show up.
So it's for you guys to consider, is this
That's my question. It
Yeah.
looked like it was an umbrella thing.
is,
Just to
yeah.
shore them up because they're gonna have the games. The parents are gonna show up. Is it gonna bring in anybody extra on this? I don't see it bringing anybody in extra on this.
Yeah, so the
Because
question
as
is-
Heather pointed out, the teams are gonna come and if they can afford it, they're gonna stay here. If not, they stay outside of Alpine. I've watched it from the inside out. My husband was sports medicine over there for 5 years. There was no, I mean, and since it went D2, it has lost a lot of ball. Until they get their, because it takes time.
Right.
To do something like that as a team to get yourself in the groove with that particular conference.
I would be interested with this. I mean, I always think it's nice and interesting to collaborate between the entities in town on stuff. Like, I love that idea.
Yes, I agree with that.
What I would have loved to have seen in this application is a specific event they were gonna do different, or, I mean, I understand if I were in their position, I'd be like, well, I can see that being if they're looking for grants or whatever. And I get that, but yeah, I would have liked it to be tied to
Needs to be
something.
tied to something that like,
Other
okay,
than
let's take the football
official
field and make a
costs.
pee-wee football league there
Yeah.
and have people pay to come to the area that wouldn't normally do here.
Yeah,
Let's do something, not just hey, I need money there.
I think you also have to look at that advertising when the people are already here at games is something that Chris would have to decide the value in from out of like a normal advertising budget, not because if you're putting up advertisements during games, that's like where you should be reaching out to the events that need to be advertised to see if they want to do that because the people that are at games are already here. That
Yeah.
if you're doing it during the football game or up during a basketball game, like they're already here. So that would be where they should be asking like that do you want to put your gym and mineral show up during basketball games in February, so maybe people come back in March? Like, that's not something that should be like, because that's not reaching people outside of our area. They're already here, but they might come back, but like, is it really doing the two-step rule whenever the people are already here? And that's when we're advertising to them.
Well, and Heather, if somebody came to me with this as a request for hot funding, I would reject it. And for the same reason that we don't do local posters, we don't do advertising or local papers, and local radio, because it's not reaching, and even,
Right. And that's what came to my mind when I saw those, because we don't put ads in the Cowboys programs because they're already here, and we don't do that. We've got another like guides that people have asked, at the visitor center, asked you and I to advertise in, and we don't, because they're not going to be distributed outside the area.
Yeah, it's actually curious as to why this page is even in the application, because they're not asking for advertising money, just sporting events money. But it just comes under the marketing.
I think it's because that state statute that says it can be used for sports promotion. I think that's why they were thinking down that route, like if you read the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know that it's really falling in line with the true two-step test.
Oh, I completely agree. I would reject it.
For me, it's a slippery slope. If you start it now, then they're gonna be back every year with their hands out. And if it was for a specific event that had not been done here before, and they needed some support for it, then I could see that. That's just my spin.
Sure. So for the purposes of our score, Kirsten, what would you say impact on hotel stays?
0. I feel like this would have 0.
I'm glad you said it first.
Okay.
So bad, but I'm glad you said
Okay,
it first.
Joanna.
I'm going with her, 0.
Okay,
I
John.
don't see it.
I think John stepped out.
Okay.
So for now, that's what they get. Okay, let's find athletics. Professionalism and planning, Kirsten.
I mean, you know what? I don't feel like we're scoring a thing. I don't feel like we're really scoring. I can't. There is no event to score.
There's nothing to score. Exactly. That's my point.
Well, one would say there are.
They submitted everything the way they were supposed to.
They
now.
did,
Right.
and so you're looking at the package that they submitted, and does it
Right.
seem professional?
Yeah.
And is there a sound business plan within it?
I'll give them a 2 on professional.
Okay. And again, this score does not determine what you give them next week. It's just the tool
Well,
for you.
I mean, okay, so let me ask, so if we go back to in the document that kind of the spreadsheet type budget, it says that this is to reduce the impact of officials and worker costs. Do
Okay,
you see that?
I see
Do
it.
you see what I mean?
Good catch.
so that may be like paying umpires and
Right,
referees and things. It was totally legal and legit for
but I mean, that's what we're scoring essentially. It's like, that's their plan for this money, is to reduce that, it's their 50%. I mean, that's the entire amount, by $50,000. And they have that it's to reduce the impact of official and worker costs.
Yeah, and so an analog is the Alpine Cowboys season,
Okay,
and that we've had funded for a long time.
Right.
And they use that to pay Pecos League expenses.
Right.
And
But does that
buy
come through Sil
baseballs. No, I'm just saying, this is they're asking for sporting events funding to cover seasons, several
What she's
seasons.
pointing out
but
is
it's an
she's saying it's
existing-
reduced impact of officials, workers' costs, and that should be built into their budgets already.
well, I'm not
Well-
saying that you couldn't pay staff, like, I'm not saying staff, I'm just saying this is already happening in every way,
Regardless,
right?
yes.
But you're saying that the
I'm what-
Cowboys is a similar.
Yes, I'm saying that it's actually a similar request. Now, they're a nonprofit, I'm not a state-supported university.
Right,
But it's a season of games that they're asking for. This is asking for a season across multiple sports. And now one thing that's not in this is advertising money to bring more spectators
Yeah.
and spend the night. And that's something that the Cowboys do. They ask for at least as much advertising as they do for help in putting on the games, because we
I
do
feel
give
like
them
that's
some.
just inherently bringing in people like that. The Cowboys. I mean,
Mhm.
that's
We're
sort of like
talking
the
about Sul
whole.
Ross right now.
Well,
Yeah,
we're talking
right,
about,
right.
I'm trying to give you guys an analog. So
Yeah.
you could
To me, it's like apples and oranges, because one is a nonprofit that works totally different
Right.
from a college that has official funding already.
Okay, so professionalism and planning. I mean, we're talking about planning the year, the year
Yeah,
of games.
Well, we usually say a sound business plan. And that, yeah, there's not a lot in terms of business plan that's presented to us, but
Okay, 3.
John's it's 2.
2.
Oh, thank you, John. Welcome back.
He woke up.
Okay, capacity to put on the events. John?
Well, they certainly have the capacity, but it skews the points. You know, I
However, that's part of the score, so,
2.
okay.
10.
I say 0 because the events are gonna happen whether they get funding or not.
That's
But the
right.
question is, are they able to put on the events? Because that's what this score is about. Do they have the capacity to do what they say they're gonna do on the application?
They're gonna do,
Right, and that would sound like they are able to do it, so they would have a high score.
but they would do it whether they got the funding or not.
The question is not,
0.
okay, that's fair. Diversity of revenues is there. It's estimated 38%. So John, diversity of revenues?
You know, they only have really 2 sources of diversity, the university and the money they're asking for, plus the few sponsors that put up signs and things. I give them a 3.
Okay, Joanna? Did anyone want to give newness or innovation points?
Nope.
The next new application is Big Bend Natural History Association Pioneer Weekend. I'm trying to figure that out. That's number 16, right after the Comic Con.
So the Borderland Research Institute is not new.
Yeah, that's wildlife. Week. That's page 219. This is a long-running event, but it's new to Alpine. It's been going on for, I want to say 30 plus years in the national park. And last year was their first year that they brought it to Alpine. It was a huge success. And so I spoke to Julie Childs, who runs the Natural History Association, and suggested that, you know, we could probably build that audience with some advertising support. So she
At
submitted
least
this
some banners or
application.
something for it, you know?
And it's also, it's an historical event, so they're asking for historical money as well as advertising. And it definitely does bring people who are interested in the history of Big Bend and the national park from a long distance. So when you've looked at it up,
Yeah.
Kirsten, I'll let you start on the impact on hotels.
I also think this makes a great partner.
I agree.
Well, it says expected attendance 185. I mean, it's hard to, it's hard to know.
What do you think?
Those
attendance
numbers are
was
hard.
before? Heather, did you?
This first year in Alpine was larger than they had had in the park before. So they thought the move to Alpine was very successful. It was at the Spino Center. I was at it. And it was quite a full room. And they said this year, 162 attendees, 71 from outside the area staying multiple nights. They estimated 125 to 150 room nights.
6.
We did see visitors for this event this year. And I would also say that whatever the current political situation is with what's going on will have a big impact on attendance in the coming year.
Good point. There might be a lot more.
That's the
people
first
out
thing that went
there.
through my head when I read it was that.
It's a good point, actually. You know, for this year, I bet, yeah, I'm gonna change mine to an 8, actually. I think that's a great point.
John?
I missed something a little bit. Is this 6,000 just for advertising?
No, it's a mix. Some of it's historic for program.
Oh, okay, same thing, sort of. Yeah, I love the 8. I think it
Okay.
could even be better. Now make mine a 9.
Okay. Joanna?
9. And those are the kind of people that will come and then come again.
Very true. Professionalism and business plan, John?
8.
Joanna?
9.
Capacity to put on the event.
10.
Joanna? John?
10.
Okay, now this is our actual first round number
There
10.
you go.
Diversity of revenue. They estimate 45% of costs covered by the grant. John?
7.
7. Yeah.
Okay. 7. Great.
John?
Sorry.
7. Newness and innovation points from anyone.
Well, so tell us, so I'm not really familiar with this. You said this is, last year was the first year they,
They came to Alpine.
okay.
It's been like 30 years in the park. And it's been in
Okay.
the community room at Panther Junction, which
Uh-huh.
is much smaller than the Espino Center.
Yeah.
They were outgrowing the space, and so they came with the Alpine.
Are they
this year.
also doing a part of it down there or the whole thing is up here?
It's up here.
We want it all here.
And so so last year, did they ask us for any money?
No, they weren't even aware of the grants. I
Okay.
brought it up to
That's
them.
what he was saying. He
Yeah.
told them.
Okay, you said for advertising, we might be able to help. Okay, so when we give points for innovation or newness, giving a 2 or a 3 is not a low number, right? Because these are extra credit.
Anything is extra credit. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not totally new, but it's kind of new to us. It's been going on, so I'll give 4 points for newness.
Okay, anybody else for?
I'll give 5.
5 for newness,
Me too. 5.
5. Okay, yeah. Next new request is the Mother's Day dance from the Family Crisis Center, which is the very next one, because it's super easy. Now, they've often been like, this dance used to be at Cowboy Poetry. And combined with that, and then it moved to graduation. And now it's Mother's Day, which is actually the first time this has been on a time when there's not another event bringing people to town. So in this case, this would be the first time that they're on their own. The people in town are here just for this.
So they've had dances in the past, but just at these different times, and now they're playing with them.
Yeah, see the Crisis Center's fundraiser dance, so they were basically just building on the audience for Cowboy Poetry. Now Cowboy Poetry decided they were gonna do dinners in the night.
But graduation is Mother's Day weekend. Graduation
it?
is Mother's Day weekend.
So it's
Yeah.
still, so I'll take it all back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She told you.
She sure did.
But it's branded differently this
Yeah,
year,
it is
right?
a little
Yeah,
bit.
Mother's Day.
And it'll be, but that would make it even better because if graduation's on Mother's Day weekend, then
Right.
that's like a twofer.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it'll bring any more people to town since it's graduation already, but it should be good for the event.
Can I ask y'all, on graduation weekends, are our hotels full?
That is something we do see impact from. We see visitors for graduation weekend usually. We just had some. I mean, it was like a busy morning at the market. And we had families in looking. A lot of it is like, you know, dinner advice and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, the market was.
I think we're missing a document here that I need to get you for next time.
Well, you're talking about, this is primary location of the event. So this is at the new Sunshine, or this is, they say it's at the Sunshine House.
Yeah, which is the Crystal.
Right, so it's gonna be in that new space.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, I guess you know. Yeah, just a little smile.
Yeah, there are two documents that are not in your
Okay.
spreadsheet. You're missing their budget and the cover letter that contains their attachments. Now, I'm gonna get those to you.
Okay. So will we do this one next week then?
Looking for,
Was it in the packet? that you had?
I would suggest, well, I can actually,
What's the other?
it's Theater of the Big Band is missing an event report and an impact statement. So they say proposed marketing plan, they plan to advertise on Facebook posters and local radio. Sponsors donations will pay for advertising in local papers. So social media is the primary advertising that would reach out of town. And in the past, I have sometimes assisted them and run the Facebook thing and targeted it for them. That I wouldn't be surprised if Rhonda asked me to do that again. They have the schedule. They estimate 300 attendees. They estimate 400 attendees, 300 from out of town.
But again, we have to go back to, that's not what the event would bring in. They would probably be here most likely anyway.
That's correct. And historically, this has been one that might not score particularly high, but the Crisis Center fundraiser, the City Society to support it.
Did they get funding last year?
They-
I remember they asked for it or something, I thought.
I think last year they actually didn't apply. I think Rhonda.
They missed it. It wasn't their fault. The Crystal closed suddenly. We awarded them money one year that they didn't use because of the closing of the Crystal. And then they didn't have the event again with their new center opening. So this is bringing it back.
So we did award them money, but they didn't
They
get
were
to use it.
awarded for many years until
Okay.
the interruption. Yeah.
Thank you, Heather.
So how will we as a committee sort through, because they also made an application for not-for-profit funds from the city under our separate ordinance.
And that's for the council to be aware of.
I know, so we ought to talk about that in terms of how we go work that, because they made a separate request. There were 3 organizations, not-for-profit, requested funding, Family Crisis Center was one.
Gotcha.
But those the funding from them as a nonprofit, isn't that more targeted at like their programming, which our hot funds can't be used for? Our hot funds can only be used to put on an event that will create money for their programming. So it's not really the same ask.
It's not the same ask. It's a similar purpose in that this is a fundraiser as well, but yeah.
It's not a fundraiser that'll put heads to beds necessarily.
Yeah, and that's for you to say, like,
Unfortunately.
what's your
I mean,
estimate?
not that I don't want it to, I want it to for them.
Yeah.
What's your 0 to 10 estimate for impact? Here's still what's yours.
For bringing more people to town just for this event. Um. And they haven't really included anything that says specifically answers that question. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
And they don't really have much of a way to sort
Uh-huh.
the people arriving as to whether they came to town
Yeah.
for that or not.
Yeah. Okay.
John?
Three, and I'm going to go off mic for a minute. Excuse me.
Okay. So, straight up three, another round number. That's a rarity. Professionalism and business plan, Kirsten?
Well,
We're missing.
we're missing some, right? Are we missing some?
You are,
pieces?
it's, let's say it's terse, these documents. It's one word file, each is a short sentence. each
Okay.
attachment.
Okay. 4.
Joanna? Five. Take Joanna over here for now. 5. Capacity to put on the event, Joanna?
Oh, don't have the capacity to do it. I'll give them an 8 for that.
Okay. Kirsten, 10. Diversity of revenues, they're asking for basically 75% of their event costs. Joanna?
1, 2.
Kirsten, 3. Any newness or innovation?
I'll give them a 5 for innovation because they put it on Mother's Day and graduations. So that's good thinking.
Okay. And then on the new
Geofence.
ones, let's see, you are correct. This is number 22, right after the 4th of July. That was was
After the 4th of July.
I'm wondering, actually, I might have.
Well, with a t-shirt. You have t-shirts.
I was seeing if those crisis center names,
Oh,
things are in
yeah.
the stack, but they weren't. Okay, so then we're at GeoFest, which this is gonna be their second year. They held the first one. What page is that? Yeah, sorry, 249. The amount requested on their first page is incorrect. They actually requested 8,894. When we added up the itemized
You see, but
category.
that number matches what they had on the cigarettes and so.
Yeah, and that's
That's their
incorrect.
total, that's not. their
That's
total.
higher than they actually asked.
Okay. But this is total budget and, okay, so that is not,
Well, they may have
that's
thought,
confusing.
yeah. They say amount requested on the first page of their application, but when we add up the amount funding categories. It came to 8,900 and 90, it's 8,894. They're a couple thousand,
Confusing.
$2,400, about 2,300. Yeah. And so this is, they're looking for year 2, they're adding a previous night reception. The one this year was just the day, and this is actually, they're expanding it to a full weekend. So they've got a Thursday night reception. Yeah, this was just a Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember. It was the full day. And now they're doing 2 days and a reception the night before. So the potential for room nights is increased for people who might come to town. Now, this is during spring break, which is our very busy time. So that's something,
Do you think they did that on purpose?
you know, this year, we never have had many events during spring break because it's our busy time. And yes, I think that they picked it, at least this year, and let's actually confirm.
They give the visitors something to do.
It does.
Something else.
It does change the calculation a little bit, because similar to, you know, the dance happening during graduation, if you're having during the time when people are here anyway.
Right.
How many of them are coming for this? So that's an impact question. For you guys to consider.
And when they did it, you said this is the second year,
Yeah, they're asking funds for their second year, because this
Okay.
year was their
but
first.
what was their first year attendance? Can we put a kind of a? The saying expected attendance 200 to 300.
So the first year attendance. Company residents 54, tourists 39, no residency given 24, total 117.
The first year.
We are this year 26. Estimate from 27 is 200 to 300.
Which with an advertising plan, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
Cause they mainly, they did some social media to local audiences, and they did sandwich signs around town.
So page 258.
Thank you. That's why I hadn't got there yet. That's why I keep looking. Thank you.
So,
That's them advertising.
yeah, so Kirsten, impact on stays, what would you?
Well, I'm just gonna ignore the fact that it's spring break.
Okay.
Like, it just talk about what I think it would be bringing in whenever it happened. I do think this is a thing that people would come in town for. 8.
Joanna?
None.
John?
7. Oops, 7. Did you hear me?
I did, thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, then professionalism and business plan, Kirsten?
Um. Okay, let me ask you this. So they say that and I feel like this is part of that answer. So
Yeah.
that they're 90% of the total costs are gonna be from this grant. But right, but then the shirt, you look at the shirt, the sponsors are pretty varied, so I can't imagine, and some of them are, kind of
So you
big,
think
so
that's wrong?
I don't understand how it would be 90% with all those sponsors.
That's why I think the numbers are wrong. That's why I was asking her. They just don't look, they look out of whack a little bit.
And so then that leads me to think, well, maybe, maybe, right, it's not as tight, is it?
Well, and the
It's
the
not
math was
90%,
incorrect
it's
on
probably-
this number's wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll say 6.
Okay. John, what would you say for professionalism and sound planning? John, you hear me?
Sorry, that was a 6 with my mic off.
Ah, thank you. Joanna, what would you say?
Another chemo moment.
Okay, capacity to put on the agenda.
I like that they're using the opioid.
And so you said they did it last year and it was a success.
Yeah, it was, I helped with the music, that went fine. Tony Curry and I kind of played the gloves, and they had some vendors, they had quite a few info tents from different school clubs and departments. And things
Okay.
like that, and some presentations.
Okay, so 8.
John, capacity?
7.
So. Diversity of revenues. Now they say 90%, which would be pretty terrible diversity, but you estimate they have more sponsors than they're
The
accounting for.
looks of it, you would think.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna look at the shirt as
Good catch.
as
Taker.
evidence, yeah.
Good catch.
And I'm gonna call diversity, I mean, it's really pretty good, like 8, I'm just gonna
Okay.
based on a shirt.
Joanna? John, diversity of revenues?
8. I wish I'd learned to turn my mic on.
Would anyone like to give newness and innovation points?
Give it 1 innovation. I do like that, they're just trying to do something at Coconut, I think that's different.
But I'm gonna go new on it.
You okay, John, either?
No.
Okay. Is she?
Yeah.
Thank you.
She was just driving, maybe she fell off.
Uh-oh.
Steven, I don't know. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, once I get looking at my little screen share, I don't know. I need this interface
Yeah.
stuff. Yes, the athletic benefit, which is number 25.
Theater of the Big Band.
It's just out. Yes, the one right after page 272. Asking for $7,500. All for advertising.
You have a handle on where they're going to advertise?
See what the marketing thing says. Event web page, social media advertising. And area newspapers, Midland, that's at El Paso. Raider, Big Bend region, not sure. Which
I didn't like, I'm sorry.
they had not been funded before. This would be the 3rd year, I believe, Rick, is that right?
Didn't something do last year? I remember something about theater of the Big Band. Maybe I'm just dreaming.
Well, it's not, this is the Soul Rock that play. Oh, yes, that's the one after that. It's page 272.
Yep, 272.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, they funded for a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, all right, thank you.
They're gonna be,
Do we have a budget? Oh, there it is, sorry.
hey, better.
This event budget is $200,000.
Yes,
Wow. It's a
Yeah.
big event.
it is. Yeah, we end up with a lead sponsor because I'm involved with the foundation. Lead sponsor typically puts in 20 grand. About half the money goes directly to athletics.
Okay. So they're just wanting help with advertising money for this
Exactly.
event.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit intended. Now, as I understand it, and you, Rick, can correct me if I'm wrong, the events have been very successful in raising funds and moderately successful in actual attendance. Does that seem right?
That's about right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, so they've sold a lot of sponsorships, sold a lot of those big tables and stuff,
Yeah,
but, the heads and beds piece is, I guess, what this money is gonna address. So trying to actually fill the room, because they're successful in bringing the money in. They're having a big name
yeah.
income, so let's get the word out. and
So
actually
this is the one where like they
That
had
is it.
Josh Abbott,
Yeah,
they had,
exactly.
okay, that's this
Yep,
event,
yep.
okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. And so that makes sense that then they would say, okay, to help try and bring people into this, this would be your logical place to go ask for money.
Yeah.
And see, this is something I can get. Because it's tied to an event.
And this is as I understand it, mainly from Rick, we have one alumnus, I think, or somebody involved with the athletic team. I think it's a parent actually, who has these industry relationships. And they've been able to bring
These really big
yeah,
names.
these named
Yeah.
musicians in, and that's a rarity
Yeah,
for here,
totally.
because generally, I mean, even FIFA, he doesn't have the budget to bring
Yeah.
in names like that. So
Yeah.
he brings in great music
Yeah.
with a slightly lower profile.
So they sold 29 $2,500 tables. That's a lot of $2,500 tables. Are those largely people from out of town?
Out of town.
Yeah.
Isn't it tied, wasn't it tied to homecoming or something one year? It was tied to some.
At first, so it's not been tied to homecoming. Last year, there was a football game.
It was tied to the rodeo last year.
That's what I'm
And
thinking.
that's
Thank
part
you,
of the
guys.
discussion we've had about the date. It's November 13th this year coming up. And so we try to split it out from something else going on to maximize attendance and bring more people in.
I thought it was a great idea when I heard about it. I heard it on the radio, things like that, but I didn't know if the attendance was so much.
Yeah, well, there's about 1,000 people show up, and we're trying to expand that a lot because we have huge capacity.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's still a lot of people. 1,000 out of town people, that's a lot of people.
Well, they were all
About 1,000
those
out of
big
town,
names,
probably
you
half
should
of them
know.
have. But yeah, it's a good name. I remember who we were going for Caitlin Betts and she said no, but I can't remember who we got coming up this year, but yeah, we have a lead act and a primary act.
Yeah, in this case, 500, let's say, people from out of town is a good number, but the Gallegos Center is kind of like the Granada in
Yeah.
this respect, that a good crowd feels like a crowded crowd. You gotta have an
Oh, yeah.
amazing crowd for it to feel full. Like the
Well-
Granada, a modest event, for a local event, one that's quite successful, feels skimpy and sparse because
Does
it's
it
such a
have to
big
be
venue.
in that venue?
Well, I think they're thinking the name,
Well, with the names, you want a venue big enough, or you're not gonna attract the names
Okay.
to fill the
Okay.
venue. Yeah, you've got to.
So
have
the
that.
advertising is gonna be key. So
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, is
Yeah.
advertising.
Okay.
So impact on hotel stays. John, what do you think?
5.
Kirsten?
I think it could be a 9.
Okay, Joanna?
Six. I'll go 9.
Okay. Professionalism and planning, Joanna?
It makes sense. Let's go 9.
Okay, Kirsten?
9.
John?
9.
Clean sweep of 9. Capacity to put on the event. Joanna?
10.
10, Kirsten?
10.
John?
Well, it's a 10, but it's sort of misleading, isn't it?
Well, you can see through your own guile when you review them again tomorrow. Then diversity of revenues, they're asking for 7.5% of their budget, Kirsten?
10.
Joanna? John?
10.
Then newness and innovation. Anybody have points there?
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 and a 5.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Anything from you, John?
No.
Okay. Okay, the last new one is the Border Archives Bazaar, which should be the very next one. That one did not have the attachments in your packet, but it should be the very last, I was thinking your additional step. Oh, okay. Thank you. So this is essentially a conference that the archives of the Big Bend has recruited to Alpine. It's the 10th year that the event has been happening. It's the first year at Sil Ross. They're expecting 400 people. I think this is a typo, because they say approximately 40. I think I'll find hotels. Can't imagine there's 360 people attending the event, but maybe. Travel. Society of Southwest Archivists. They're gonna use grants from that society for local advertising. Well, here they say actually attendance has ranged. It's generally around 150, so I would say that application number is incorrect. Because the bazaar typically has between 15 to 20 repository archives from across New Mexico, and then El Paso, Ciudad Juarez, Alpine, Lubbock. And attendance has ranged between 150 and 250, generally around 150. This year they plan to add an extra day specifically for area schools. That's where the additional attendance is coming from. It's from students.
Fun.
But they wouldn't be staying the night.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, so you're looking at around 150 people staying the night for the 2 nights. So John, what would you say for impact on hotel stays?
5.
5, Joanna? Professionalism and planning. Kirsten?
10.
Joanna? 8. John?
8.
Capacity to put on the event. Joanna? 6. Kirsten?
10.
And John?
Leave it as an 8. That's okay.
Okay, then diversity revenues, they estimated 45.71% of the event budget. Kirsten, what would you say for diversity?
I would say about a 5.
5. John?
6.
Joanna? Would anyone like to give newness and innovation points for this
Yeah,
one?
I'll give them 8 for newness.
Anyone else?
Yeah, 5.
No.
Okay. Okay, so now,
Just a
Yes, you go.
tidbit of trivia. I knew nothing about them. I just looked up on the website. They have representation from Arizona all the way to Louisiana.
That's what I was looking at, the New Mexico, El
That's fun.
Paso. I mean, they go
Yeah.
across the board and they're coming here, you know, so that's
Yeah,
actually. really
Missouri,
good.
Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico.
I was gonna say after I read that. I
Chris,
was like,
I would say this is similar to like a lot of the conferences we've kind of looking at. A lot of times we don't qualify for some of those bigger conferences because we don't have a conference center. But this
Yeah.
is the kind of stuff we need to be targeting that is the smaller, but still huge impact on a town like Alpine.
Agreed,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something it being only Heather and I for the most part, we don't have sales capacity, you know, a lot of DMOs, destination marketing organizations will have dedicated staff for recruiting.
This
things
kind
like
of
this.
thing.
Yeah, so that's not something that we're successful in getting the regional roundtable from Texas Downtown Association, that's great. But it's less common than we'd like. So now we're looking at page 15, Big Bend Film Commission. So it's
Abstain.
yep, it's a two-person scoring for this one. So this is essentially the same program and goals as we've funded for quite some time. You're looking at the website that provides location photos all through the Big Bend region and sponsorship with at the Austin Film Festival. That includes signs and teaser video for the shorts program. So all this shorts that they show have a little come film in Alpine in the Big Bend video before it, and a booth at the event. That's it.
And
Yeah, John.
And the ad in the cover in the program.
That's right. We usually get in the program for the festival that people pick up. It's usually the inside front cover or something like that. Or it has been.
Yeah, we'll be inside again.
Okay. And yeah, and so this is one where the intended audience is film producers. The Austin Film Festival is essentially a writers' conference, or primarily a writers' conference. And so the idea there is to influence people working on screenplays that set their films in our area, so that it's more likely that if they get produced, that they'll come out here and spend the night. There's no guarantee at all that anyone will come from the film festival, but if someone comes with a feature, we get a ton of invites and a bunch of economic activity. So it's a very high reward, infrequent arrival kind of situation.
How many years have we been doing this? It's 21.
Yeah, John, do you remember offhand how many years?
Well, it's been 10 with 3 basic different sponsors, plus some private sponsors.
And during that 10 years, how many films have actually come out here?
That's a really good question. We don't know, though there have been some pretty good sized ones that have taken up anywhere from 30 to over 100 rooms for 4, 5, 6 weeks sometimes.
Yeah, there's
we're looking at some that are that big again, but who knows? And some of them don't want you to know about them.
Yeah, in the last 3 years or so, we've had 2 features, each of which had, like the $40,000-$50,000 in hotel business, if not more. The first one, that was during COVID, just as things were loosening up in COVID time. And that was like almost $90,000 in our hotels. There's a lot of smaller productions that we never find out about. Music videos.
I was gonna say, with the music videos have been what's big more recently, and those we don't even they've never asked for us to use the rebate program, but they're still utilizing the tools that are created on Shoot Big Bend.
Yeah.
What are those tools?
Well, they're like if you're interested in shooting something and you're like, oh well, I know my setting's going to be a bar. Jimmy Houston, who's one of the people that comes and works the booth in the festival, he's come to the area and he's done quite a lot of film production in various roles. So he knows what kinds of views, the kind of visual information and cast location scouts.
Kirsten, basically at the film festival, somebody will walk up and Jimmy asks, like, what are you writing your movie about? And then he shows him how the website works and actually says, like, you can scout your positions, like, or your shoot where you want to shoot before you ever even come out here. So it takes away a lot of their pre-work. And then they also can write specifically to our locations. A lot of them were super into that. Like, some girl was writing a story and she was like, it has this really cool chess game in it. Like, where else can you pull up on the website that there's a life-size like chess game at the Gauge? And Jimmy has a picture of that and he shows them, and like, this is a spot that you can come to. And that's what we sit there and do to all these people that come up and talk to us. And then like, I'm there more just pitching Alpine as a general destination, but that's how it works. So if you go look at the website, you'll see how the writers and filmmakers are using it.
Yeah, and that $90,000 feature, they explicitly told me they were looking for roads, for rural roads, and he had what they wanted. And then when they really started looking at it, they had this railroad scene. So they had to work with Union Pacific, and get a lot of permits and stuff, but they had this rural road crossing the railroad and they got scene that they wanted. So that's why they set it out here.
Okay, and if we didn't have somebody at that event, like we would probably be passed over for this stuff, because people are going to that event looking for contacts and.
Yeah, and it's hard to say, because it's the website that's out there, but how do they find out about the site? Like, I don't know that feature met us at the film festival,
Mhm.
but they used that website, the website.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, not, okay.
So here's we're supposed to be rating this based on knowing that we put heads in beds. We don't know that this puts heads
You
in
don't know,
beds.
it's potential, but not
And-
guaranteed.
Okay, I'm just saying. And is this, I mentioned my little ATM thing the other day, or just a minute ago, and that's point, at what point do we stop funding this, not knowing that?
But we do know that stuff has come here in recent years. Like we just talked about that. You do know that stuff is coming here. You don't have any guarantee, and you
But
also
it's never gonna be self-funded.
Well, and that's a question like, I mean, that's just a fundamental,
Cause all the others are having to put money into it, right?
basic, like, is that our philosophy, right? I mean, I have been part of organizations that are granting organizations, and those are their rules, that, I mean, they're different kind of thing, like those are nonprofits that have to, and they don't ever want, like that group never wanted those grantees to become 100% reliant on this organization for the grants. But I feel like a difference in my mind, because I have that same question in my mind. And I feel like the difference in my mind between that situation and what we're doing is kind of see all of these events as like an extension of what the city, it's like an extension of city staff time to go out and put out, like if we had 20 event planners, maybe we could do all these events, but we don't. And so we have these volunteers who are doing a big chunk of it. And this just keeps it going. So in my mind, I don't have as much of a problem being like, it's every year, it's gonna be that way. We're still getting a lot of bang for our buck.
Yeah. That is.
But we don't
Right, we're getting bang for our buck. That's the
For this
problem.
one, there's an uncertainty on this one, but I think that's an excellent point, because there are a lot of communities that, they're like the Heathers and Meads, for that community. They'll have in that department staff that does their art walk, and so their city is paying every single year to make that happen.
And that's my point right there.
But their
Why-
city's paying it. In this case, we're getting it way cheaper because we have volunteers doing the work.
okay, give me 5 more
Yeah.
staff and I'll put on all the events. There,
Exactly.
end of problem.
Give her 5 more staff and she'll put all these.
All the events on.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going. It should be funded by the city, not funded by the grant program, which is supposed to knowingly put heads in beds.
Well, we are talking, we had, I believe that Kirsten's was speaking more
I mean, I'm not
generally about
disagreeing with
the,
what she said, cause
yeah,
I
yeah.
totally
but yeah,
understand that.
on this
I feel the same
particular
way.
one, yeah, that's for you to consider. It's a question.
You have the risk every year with every single event that it's not going to put heads in beds. It's always a gamble. You don't ever have a guarantee. They have a track record of doing it, just like this has a track record of being used by film and movie producers. But you could have a year that, COVID happens again and nobody comes to the events that are already planned and they can't get back deposits or whatever. I mean, like there's always a risk in what we fund that people don't want to come to it. I mean, gas prices are, $10 a gallon. Is everybody going to come to stuff? You don't know.
Given all that, Kirsten,
Yeah.
what would you estimate for impact on hotels?
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
What, what did we give last year? Every year it's about the same.
19,000.
Thank you, John.
19.
I was about to look that up. Yeah.
Okay. I am gonna say impact on stays, right, it is just a crapshoot, right? We don't really know. It
You
could
don't
be
know.
blow it out of the
It-
water.
yeah.
It could be nothing, so I'm gonna give it a 6, just because I'm gonna be hopeful that we'll break even on our idea there.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's a crapshoot too.
Oh, man.
Turn off your mic, John.
I think you also have to look at this as most people are not making a movie in a year. You're planting a seed, and they might not be here for 2 years before they actually have funding to come here and make a movie. It's just like when we go do media pitches, you're not getting an immediate return on that. But these journalists are thinking of our destination to plan stories 2, 3 years, 5 years down the road. They've got all these notes and they want to do it, but you know, they're not necessarily going to be able to do it within your year time frame. So like that's a unfair expectation of like if we go and talk to them this year, that they'll be here this year to make.
Yeah. It's a good point.
But you've been doing it for 10 years, so you would think there'd be some track record there.
Well, and there is one. We've had 2 features in the last 4 years, each of which brought in, you know, a lot of room nights, because it was weeks, it was the whole staff over weeks. But then there was, you know, of those 4 years, 2 of those years, we had no feature, but we had some music videos, we had some photo shoots, things like that. So,
I don't disagree with the premise of the whole thing. I just wonder at what point do we keep giving it grant money?
and that
When
is.
we don't know that.
That is for you to recommend, so is it strategic to invest in this market this way? Because those investments, as Heather pointed out, those investments can pay off down the road. And it is a limited fund, you're gonna have to, the committee, and then the council are gonna have to decide, is this the most strategic way? Now, this is one thing this is more or less the only way we address this market is through this program. And so that in past years has been decided, well, this is the way we're gonna do it. Because right now, we don't do it any other way.
This is similar to the festivals. Like we don't have an event planner. We don't have the staff to have a film commission. A lot of other places, there's paid staff that's doing what what John's group is doing. Like other people that Chris works with that are film friendly in our area, they have paid staff that are doing what John is doing.
Very true. Yeah.
Where's the staff paid from? City.
Well, they are paid through the hot fund. Because these, like, let's say El Paso, they have a film commission, it's paid through the hot fund because they're looking at it.
So to Joanna's question, I'm looking at a website for Shoot Big Bend. And it has a bunch of things here. It says like shooting now or shooting soon or already. Do we know when these were done?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
recent Big Bend productions, Marfa Lights, Stars at Night.
Yeah, Marfa Lights was
Soul
last year.
Geology, Boondog, She Loves Horses, Silverfish, Treasure, Red Bud, Marfa Girl 2 Results, Boyhood,
Yeah,
and
that was
History
about
Channel's No Man's Land. So
years
I'm just,
ago. Boyhood was what, like 8 or 9 years ago?
I don't know. That's why I asked. How
Yeah.
current?
In fairness, some of those are old. What we're trying to do is throw out a trail of candy, and so people said, "Oh, I've got a film just like that."
You know, I
Go out there, but there's no way of knowing who might even be thinking of coming. Plus, the worst of it is that there are films that come and they don't want you to know they're there.
No, I understand. There's just one that says he's shooting now.
Yeah, but you know, it's a little hyperbole.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's candy.
Okay.
So professionalism and plan. Joanna?
They've obviously planned good for a while now. Give them 5.
Okay.
8.
Capacity to do the work.
10.
And Joanna?
I said you would do the work. I mean, how do you put
Well,
a number on that when you don't know?
Well, in this case, it's you look at previous years. We've had some features that, you know, people have come, they have gone to the film festival all these times. So the question is, you know, are they capable of doing that?
Of going and successfully promoting Alpine at this event.
Yeah.
Right, that's what we're,
And
yeah.
through the website, because that is also part of the funding.
Give them a 6.
Okay. Diversity of revenues.
Isn't this one of them that's 100% funded?
Yes.
Not 100%. We do have some private donors.
One of whom is on our Zoom right now.
Says 100.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
Yeah, I do know for a fact John's reaching into his pocket pretty well.
Okay. For this event.
And yeah, that and yeah. Things go over budget and the unexpected.
Okay, so.
But he didn't itemize those, so
Mhm.
you don't have them to go.
I mean, this is the kind of thing where it's an event where it's not one. I'm not sure what the other viable sponsors would be. I mean, it's almost like it's a service of the town, like of the city government to do this thing. I mean, a question for later might be, is this a thing that we actually want to take out of our regular budget and not?
Or an economic development fund, that
Right.
would be a reasonable question.
Yeah, you know, that just, not that it's not 100% valuable, which it is, and I'm not proposing to do anything weird this year. Because that's not how it's structured at this point, but like for future, maybe that does make, well, or this one just has some kind of caveat that says. This really isn't the kind of thing that would have other sponsorship, you know, that this would be really.
Now, at least 1 year, we split it with
Yeah.
Visit Big Bend, yeah.
May I make a little comment here? One of the hard things to understand is that this isn't an event.
Right.
It's ongoing publicity, promotion, and advertising.
Go back to the whole thing with the Soul Loss Athletics umbrella.
Well, at this moment, our question is on diversity of revenue.
Okay,
And this
yeah.
application.
Maybe we need a work session later.
Well, and we'll have more discussion
Yeah.
next week when we're looking at the action.
But like, if we want to talk about big philosophical changes, it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so diversity. So if we're assuming that it's really not 100% as stated in here, and there is some private, and we're getting good, you know, information that there is some private donation going on here, we'll say free.
Okay, Joanne. Newness or innovation points?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and jump over Guitar and the Big Band and do the Gem and Mineral Show, at least the here.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are hard workers. I acknowledge that.
So
It's a lot of work.
let's look at page 34.
34.
I wish I would have thought it out sooner.
She's learning.
I'm patient. I watch this, I'll watch this on YouTube too. I watch it every time.
It's quality entertainment. huh?
At 1.5 speed.
At least. Okay. So we've heard from Lisa in the public comments. We've discussed this somewhat. John, do you want to give a score for impact on stays for the Gem and Mineral Show?
I'm sorry, on what?
The Gem and Mineral Show, where we went to page
Yep.
54 of our document for the gem.
I really like the Gem and Mineral Show. The problem has always been in the past when, you know, over sales tax and local vendors, and it has always seemed to me that they came into town, set up their deal, did their show, took all the money and left. So I'm hesitant about giving more than a 5.
Okay.
But it's more, in my mind, it's more the people coming to the event, not necessarily the vendors that would be the more impactful number.
And she did estimate 40% of attendees were
That
from
was
out of
the
the.
year before that.
That was the year before?
Because last year, this show happened after.
That's right, and that's, you were just saying it, and what was it this time?
Over 2,000 people, and it was over 50% visitors.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
better.
I mean, her numbers are 580 people using, okay, hotels, motels, or bed and breakfasts.
They were packed down there.
And it was way busier this year than we thought, and it was all, I think, the advertising and putting the stuff together. Very targeted advertising.
So I would, did you ask me?
Yes,
9.
okay. Joanna? At room stays for 10 minutes. Professionalism and Joanna? And John? You're muted, John.
Talk about complete ineptness. 6. My apologies.
Okay, capacity to put on the event. Kirsten?
And have row where she's at if she keeps it up.
Yeah, John,
Take up the
capacity?
street.
Oh, come on. Sorry, 5. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Make it an 8. My apologies. I was trying to do 2 things at once. I'll stop.
Then we're looking at diversity. She estimated 48%. Kirsten?
So you see a list of, I mean, so a lot of it comes from, it's free, yeah. So booth sales, there we are.
Page 30.
Any revenue, sponsors and donations, food sales and sales. Bringing $17,000. John, diversity of revenue,
7.
7
Mhm.
and 8. Any newness and innovation points for anyone?
Nope.
What did you say y'all were doing differently? There was the kids thing that happened
We're
last
going
year.
downtown is the big thing next year. I want to pay, because we have 2,000 people there. And a lot of them will come a couple of days in a row, 3 days, several of them, you know, like the out of towners, they'll come the whole weekend. But I want to have stuff downtown, so there's dinner, there's after hour parties, basically, like we did with Fifth Street Gallery. She had a great show Friday night. And that was like, okay, we need to do this every night of the events, just to get more of the show. So I want to feature like rock art, gentlemen, jewelry artists, or maybe the gallery could do something with rocks or gems or
Bring in a
photographs.
band and put it rock on.
Right? Yeah, I just feel like we have 2,000 people. What
Yeah,
can we
we're
do
gonna-
to get them? But the money from your group helps expand that.
Yeah,
I'm working on some ideas I'm working on some really good sponsors. But it'll be great to know that I can do that now while I'm
yeah. I think that's great. Like, I think it's wonderful. You have an event, it's successful, you've been doing it a long time, but you're not complacent. Like, you're still thinking, what other cool stuff can I do? How can I grow this? How can I make it more valuable? So I'll
Well,
give,
Todd and Lisa are like, this is their 3rd year coming out.
This will be our 3rd. The
Yeah,
first
so
year
this is-
we went right
This is
over-
this is new energy.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Last year was our really first year, because we had some money to help with the advertising and our feet on the ground. Now we've got some really good plans.
That's fun. So I'll give 8 for innovation. I think that's fun. Those are just extra points.
Okay.
We also added talks this year that were really well attended, like actual educational talks in the library during gym mineral. They were all well attended.
Had an artist this last year, or an author, a book author, and next year I'm having her come back, make it bigger. Like, we've got a bunch of ideas.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
Thank you.
so if you were waiting for that, you don't have to wait anymore.
Well, I can't, well,
You don't have to, we're not kicking you out by any
You
stretch.
stay if you want. You're welcome.
I'm going to watch you tomorrow morning, or when I get to.
And
But I'll
one-
come next in 2 weeks.
and make it double speed. Yeah, don't stall that.
Especially at the beginning. We got a slow start.
I appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank you,
all of your
Lisa.
guys' hard work. And time. Time. is the key.
Yeah, well, thank you for keeping the event going, taking it
Thank
over.
you.
Okay, so now we're moving back to page 30, guitar and big band, and this one, the additional documents are the first in your second.
The first one in the file?
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
guitar.
guitar. That's the one that says guitar.
That's, a little awkward because it's 2 pages, we're inserting it in the middle of the gym. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Okay. What? Oh,
so, I would say that, the attendance at the Museum of the Big Bend for these guitar shows. This is the 3rd year. And this year was staying there at the Cultural Event Center. Now, I can't speak to the percentage of local to not local because the local audience is absolutely embracing these things because it's such an amenity, such a great thing that we bring to us as world-class performers. But I tell you, the room's packed, that's for sure. Got a like a yellow guitar. He is sweetheart. He's
Professor at Sol's.
he does. He teaches guitar at St. Ross. He's quite young. He's been doing it, well, 3 years. 3 years, yeah.
Right? Like a music
For
class.
Guitar, yeah, he's in the music program he teaches.
So it does,
This program, the events,
it helps build that.
it absolutely does. It promotes to potential students for sure. It also, they have a master class so that which I think are so cool because so the Soul Ross students will come and they'll perform a piece they're working on and the visiting musician will then work with them. So this is what I hear and I'll try this.
That's good.
Yeah.
Breaks the enroll-
Right, it might bring students, which
Students, it's
it's long term, yeah, as their parents come, et cetera, et cetera. You know, all the benefits.
This advertising, I mean, that really might bring in more. So I'm so sorry, did you say that we did fund this last year?
Yes,
Okay.
this is actually we funded it every year.
Okay.
That he's done it.
He has managed to get money from that church.
Yeah, They have actually like a bequest to do events. And so they have a fund.
That is so cool.
for that. Oh, and this time I think they're doing a Presidio concert. That's a special.
Oh, I love that.
Now, he did have a sign-in sheet asking for zip codes,
Yes.
and he says the majority gave them local. That's a real good sign, because I just didn't have any.
You know, this event also dovetails so nicely into one of the best parts of the Big Bend.
It makes an overall attendance of 300. Percentage of that be visitors from out of town.
Where do they stay?
Yeah,
Marfa,
that's-
Presidio, or Alpine?
Let me think. Nick and his wife live in Marfa, and I wouldn't be surprised if they find him a space. In fact, they might have stayed at David Landon's house.
Yeah, because Paisano put much money in.
That's true, that, they may well
I want
give
to
that
do that.
in kind for the rooms. Yeah, I bet that's what they did. So John, would you like to make a score for impact on room stays?
Yeah, you know, like I said, it impacts throughout all of the music that we do. I'm going to give them an 8.
Okay,
I think it's worth supporting them along the way.
okay.
Um, 6.
Professionalism in planning, Kirsten.
10.
Amanda? And John, professionalism in planning?
8.
Capacity to put on the event, John?
Say again, please.
The capacity to put on the event?
Oh, 10.
Okay, Joanna? Diversity of revenues, he estimates 64.5%. Joanna? John, diversity of revenues?
6.
Would anyone like to give newness or innovation points?
Yeah, I like this. And I do think it's I mean, it's not brand new, but it's still definitely building. So I'll give 3 new. And boy, I mean, he's really bringing in people that are huge, right?
Yeah, the one, Bokyun Bien. One like was the top winner of just like the world wrestling winner, you know, the competition for classical guitar of the world.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That would be a combo. Okay. I mean, I do think that I 5.
I'd like to give them a 5 for innovation as well.
This is a tidbit based upon their attendance. It'll bring in $700 in hot funds. That's a great idea. I'm just looking at
They're
it.
It's
still
based on-
building.
On
They're
his,
building.
on his target of 25 to 50, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I estimate it's gonna be higher,
Okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just,
but yeah, based on. That is I think that's an odd goal. I would have advised him to adjust that particular line on the application. So then we're looking at the Big Bend Ranch Rodeo. They are the second, full, Post it in your new stuff. African mineral. Like page 54. Here, Mother's Day dance is right after that, so we do have their, you do.
Oh,
have
I
their
see that, yeah.
documents. Oh. So they look at 3,000 people. 1,000 per performance.
How did they fare last year? I'm trying to figure out.
Well, they say their stands were full for both evening performances and the morning performances had additional 400 spectators, and they're estimating 1,000 to fill the arena. And then also have 130 competitors in teams.
I like this because it's kind of like a, well, and then with the Soul Ross one too, it's just such a good family thing. It's like, you know.
Okay, so John, would you like to score their impact on hotel stays?
And you know, I want to just, this is a wonderful local event, so I'll give them an 8.
Kirsten?
9.
John?
I'll do a 9.
Professionalism and planning, John?
They've done it. It's 9.
Yeah. Kirsten?
It's always, yeah, 9, it's always.
John?
Same.
Capacity to put on the event.
10.
10, Joanne? John?
10.
Don't even have to type in my average English.
Made it easy for you.
Yeah. Let's look at their diversity of revenue. They estimate 40%.
Yeah, it's actually a good number.
Yeah. And so what score would you give it, John?
Give them a 7.
7. Kirsten?
You know what? Okay, so for me, diversity is, y'all thought of me talking
Revenue.
yet?
Mhm.
Yeah, diversity, I mean, they have they have funds from so many different places, so to me. That even matters maybe more
As
than the
much or more,
actual,
yeah.
yeah, so I'm gonna give them a 9, I mean, it's pretty diverse.
All right. John?
8.
Anyone want to give newness or innovation? Pretty set.
Oh, yeah.
This is St. Ross College Rodeo.
Yeah. I always laugh about this because it makes me wonder how many hotels, because they all sleep in their trailers. They can't afford a hotel because they're students, bless their hearts, but you want to help them out.
Yeah, one value add for this is the Cowboy Channel broadcast with and all the ads, like we get Alpine runs a bunch of spots on there at no extra cost. That goes with it, and they get hundreds of thousands of views. So
Yeah.
so that's additional promotional benefit. So he looks at 1,500 spectators and 800,000 TV. So given all that, considering you've got that amount of spectators, potential later benefit from that promotion. And then the fact that the students there's a lot of participants, but as you say, a lot
It
of them,
brings in students.
a lot of
because
them
it's
aren't
Such a great program.
that's also true. But a lot of the competitors are not necessarily staying for hotels. It's just a consideration. So given all,
They're sleeping with their horses.
exactly. So given all that, Kirsten, what would you say for impact?
With the spectators, I'm gonna say there's a lot of spectators, so.
There are a lot of spectators.
Yeah, it says 1,500, right? So 10.
It's usually standing there long.
What would you say, Joanna?
I'll give it a nine.
John, impact on hotel stays?
9. Excuse me.
Professionalism and planning, Joanna?
10.
Kirsten?
10.
10. John?
10.
CJ always does.
Capacity to put on the event.
10.
John?
Oh, 10, of course.
Yeah.
I also love the cattle roundup that goes through the campus.
Yeah.
That's really special.
The story of that is pretty cool too, that they used to have to do it because of where the cattle pens were.
Wow.
Call back to
It's cool. I remember right after we moved here, it was so funny. I wish that I still had this picture. It was so cute. They had the horses because they had the rodeo going on. They were they rode their horses to Sonic. And they were at the Sonic drive-in with their horses. And somebody posted it, yeah, on Facebook. It was priceless. And I saved it forever. And I lost a bunch of stuff off my computer. I never could find that picture again. But it was just amazing.
we have a 20% percentage of event costs covered by the grant. So Kirsten, what do you want to give them for diversity?
And they have so many sponsors. 10. I don't know how we can ask for better.
John, diversity revenues?
I'll go with a crowd.
Anyone want to give newness or innovation? Yeah, they're at 97 points. Yeah, page 111. Okay, so pretty much a known quantity.
Wait a second. What about the American Legion?
We did it first.
Oh, that's right.
Or-
Sorry. Okay. Here we are. I'm sorry. You said 130.
It's 111.
111.
Oh, the last couple of years.
Yeah, it does have it is one of our events that is strongest in its multi-revenue aspect. So you've got hotel rooms, but it brings in sales tax in a way that a lot of events don't, because a lot of people are buying when they're here. It's something to consider.
Yeah, but wasn't that John's argument about the gym thing too? That you can't necessarily put a number on the sales tax. Of course, there, I know, now,
Right.
I see what you're saying, those are vendors and they're outside of it,
Yeah.
and we're talking
And
about
that- and that-
people that are here in town.
Exactly. Most of those sales. Now, some of those sales are happening to vendors, but a good portion of them are happening in our businesses, which where we do get that sales tax.
How much did we give last year?
They asked for 45 and we gave them 40 last year. But just in terms of impact on hotel
Yeah.
stays, what would you give it?
I would give them hold on. In y'all's, yeah, I mean, it's so big, 10.
What would you say? John?
10.
Professionalism and planning, Joy? Kirsten? 10. John?
Me too, 10.
Capacity to put on the event, John?
You said capacity?
Yeah, the capacity to put on the event.
Oh, well, it's a 10. They got the whole city to put on the event.
That's my thinking is, it really didn't seem.
First revenues, they're asking for 51.139.
See 60 right there.
60,000, but the percentage,
Oh, okay.
51%. Yeah. Given that 51% of revenues, what would you give them for diversity of revenues, John?
I give them an 8. Oh, I'm sorry, give them a 9.
Okay, Kirsten?
Yeah, I know that they have so many, they've only listed a few, but I know that they have so many, 9.
I don't see it being as strong as it's been in the past. I'd like to see them pick it up. I'll give them an 8. It's really been really strong. As it was.
Would anyone like to give them newness or innovation?
Let's see about doing anything new.
Seems like one of the things that they're cars back, which is again.
I noticed that. I was like, I don't remember ever seeing those before.
Yeah, they used to have our car parade. It wasn't every year.
But
But,
just sometimes.
Yeah.
I noticed that in the photos. I thought, well, that was kind of weird. Might be fun though.
I don't think any for that, just because they're, I mean, you don't have to be new to be great, they're great.
Okay, Spirits of the West. I don't. I have, they're expecting 800 to 1,200 for this year, for next year. This year was a transitional year. They're Benjamin Garcia actually put it on through Granada. And the model changed. It was a free event to attend instead of a gated one. I was out of town. I did not lay eyes on it. I'm
I
not.
saw it. It was.
It was like a lot will kind of depend on that advertising question. One of the things that I believe that kind of the ads came late. And so if that can be addressed and get the promotion started early, I think part of that was him picking up the event.
Are you saying Benjamin's taking it over?
He ran it this year. I'm not sure what the plan is
Well,
next
this
year.
has got John somebody.
Yeah, John Davis, so I think they're taking it kind of back.
Art
Right.
Walk will make the decision of who they are gonna like award it to actually be the like operator of it.
That just hadn't been decided yet.
Right. They just finished this year, so they'll decide who they're, but it's still their event and they're still the one who gets the scholarship money from the event.
So we don't know who's
Not yet.
really running.
Not yet. It is, let's say it's in transition.
I just know, yeah, I mean, I saw it in my backyard. There was nobody there
So
last year.
So then based on that observation, And then mixed with our memories of the first few years of the event and the thought that the nonprofit may be able to regroup and get some of that back, you know, and learn from what
This
happened.
is a nonprofit?
It's
Yes,
it was the
they're-
same art walk that, I mean, it's the same group that
Yeah.
does art walk.
But given that,
I hesitate to give it any high marks, not knowing who's running it.
I understood. But what would you score it for impact? No justice. You I know it's
In its best year, what do you think?
The first year, it was phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
But they had a lot of people that jumped on board, because I remember it.
Uh-huh.
And it's just slowly slipped downhill. And I mean,
It's
there's
never
just-
sort of found its exact
Well, they keep moving it
model.
around. And I liked what they did before when they put it downtown.
Mhm.
Heather, was it that right? The first time it was like, they had like
it was on
Sixth
Sixth the
Street.
first year. and then
Sixth
it was
Street
at
blocked
court-
off, and then it was in the courthouse. And then after that, it's just sort of not I mean, it's not really big anymore.
Yeah,
It's an afterthought.
And so the hope would be that this would be like the regrouping year and that this.
That's
would
the
help with
hope.
The advertising.
and so the question is, yeah, how much benefit of the doubt do you feel like given
Right.
in terms of? the
I
board?
mean, no, I mean, they have really proven themselves with Art Walk. So.
Because he moved it over to right across
The
from the
Kishmish,
Granada, the
yeah.
Kishmish this last time.
Yeah. Maybe that was sort of a
You know,
last minute, I don't.
I'm just telling you,
This
I
year
didn't
wasn't
see the
great.
vendors out there that they normally have. I didn't see anything. I mean, there was a group playing. There was tables set up. There was a bar, which I'm sure was benefiting the Granada. It was, yeah, I wasn't blown away by it, and what I saw was it being taken over by someone that would not necessarily benefit the town, but benefit themselves. That's what I saw.
I wonder though if, we didn't see whatever the contract was, but you said that the main point of this is the scholarships, is that what?
Well, that's Art Walk's mission.
Art Walk, okay.
Yeah,
And so we feel like there's the same mission associated with this event because it's the same organization.
right. The overall mission, yeah.
Okay. I am gonna, they sort of, John Davis's name is on it. I feel like he's, come through for us for many years. So I'm gonna give an impact benefit of doubt 5.
Okay. John, what do you say?
Hi, Chihuahua, a 7.
Okay.
I believe in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
0.67 professionalism and planning, Kirsten?
Well, this one's high. I'm gonna
Yeah, it
say
is.
5 right now.
Okay. John?
7.
John.
I see too many question marks. I'll give it a 3. Okay.
Capacity to put on the event. Once again, there are question marks, but
Yeah, they keep moving it around, so who knows? Give it a 2.
okay. John, what would you say? Capacity.
Oh, 10.
I'm gonna say 7. Okay.
How much did they get last year?
Hang on a second and I'll tell you. 3. Spirits of the West, they got 25,000 last year.
Where did it go? Because I didn't see it.
Yeah, they did not spend all the advertising, because 16,000 was advertising, they haven't spent all of that, and they got 9 for music. So when I spoke to Benjamin, because see, their director left, Lance,
Yeah.
left before Spirits, and so that was part of the time frame. Benjamin took it over. The Art Walk board actually decided not to do it, but then looked around, they found this option and they went with it. But Lance gave Benjamin backwards numbers. And he thought he had 16 for music and 9 for advertising. So we didn't plan for that advertising. So we talked about the late in the fiscal year, they're gonna use that money to
Mm.
prime and save the dates and things like that.
So they are gonna use.
Yeah,
their
they are
money.
gonna use it, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But Art Walk had originally decided they weren't going to until, of course, Benjamin came along.
And Heather and I we were really like, we didn't want the event to go away. Because it's
Well, in the beginning, it was great.
exactly, and so we were looking at, well, who might pick it up, even if it's a smaller event, and still have, something in that spot to keep some of that momentum going. And Benjamin was one who agreed to pick it up and do it. And then as it was going on, the Art Walk board had more involvement coming back, and so we'll see. They're also still looking for a director and things like that. So it's in some flux. See where
So we're trying to fund something that we don't even know is gonna happen.
They are asking for your confidence from their track record in the past, which you can give them.
Is Gary really involved?
Gary put these applications.
I know she did that,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, she was the driving force before.
She was, and she's living down south for the most part. So I think she and John, are super close. I think she's helping out, but I don't think she's gonna take it back over. This application shows 55% of event costs that they're looking for. So what would you give them for diversity? Okay. John, diversity revenues?
7.
Anyone like to give newness or innovation? Not expected.
Oh,
Looking for the Mother's Day. Yeah, we're going through here. I've got this.
And all these pictures that they had on here of the Spirits of the West are not this year, they might have had one or two commissioners that were from the year before.
Well, when they submit the application.
It had to be that, they had to have
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Okay, so now we're looking at Be the Big Bend. They estimate 10,000 attendees over 5 days. He also is he's doing some full buyouts. Like, well, one thing and before the Holland got their renovation money and they cut their rooms down, he had arranged to actually rent the whole hotel and then sell room packages, VIP room packages. But that's not happening because their room capacity went way down because of the renovation. But he is doing that at some other places, and I think that's just another lodging aspect that he's looking at. But John, what would you score Viva for impact on hotel stays?
I give them a 10. They've just been fabulous.
Professionalism and planning, Joanna?
I struggle with that because I'm trying to figure out who's actually running the show for me. I mean, to see the last few years, you haven't seen that many artists coming.
What are we talking about? Viva Big Band?
Yeah, the bands, like
But-
65 bands coming in.
But there's a lot of local people that are involved in that last few. I mean, I used to love to go to it. And I look at it to me and I'm just like, I don't see any of the big names like you have in the past.
The bands.
Yeah, he is booking largely, his target is the bands that are gonna get big, right before they do.
Right, and
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's a good idea. I just, I hope they get it going, because I love Eagle Big Dinner.
But we'll,
Nine.
okay. Let's see, right, that's 9, Kirsten? 10, John?
9's fine.
Okay. Capacity to put on the event, John?
10,
Diversity. And she's less than 20%, so with the overall budget. Kirsten?
Great. So 10, can ask for that.
John, diversity of revenues?
9.
Joanna?
They never ask that much.
Any newness or innovation?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, he's kind of dialed it in.
Which is great.
Yeah, like where he's trying to innovate is in that, you know, kind of the VIP packages. I would say most of the innovations that he's doing are not having an in-out. Because he was doing these VIP experiences like at Cibola Creek Ranch and giving us like close up personal with a big name, and things
that's
like
cool.
that.
It's always gonna be, but this,
Those are already sold out for this year. It's just because we don't have a hotel to do it right now.
Yeah.
But they've sold out, like the VIP one's already sold out.
Mm. Now we're looking at Alpine Cowboys baseball. Estimate 10,000 plus attendees over the season, 1,500 in hotels. John, what would you score for hotel impact?
Because it's a baseball thing, it should be a 9, but I'll give them an 8.
a 10.
Okay, Joanne?
Pretty true. It's so much fun. Look at it.
Professionals that have planning, Joanne? John?
9,
Capacity to put on the event, Kirsten? John?
10, I think. Yeah, it should be good.
So their diversity of revenue. It also says, they also say less than 20%. What would you say, Kirsten?
I would say 10.
Okay.
They're all
Joanna? Diversity of revenue. John?
7,
Any newness or innovation points for them? It's like they're kind of doing their thing. Now looking at wildlife weekend, now one thing I have to point out on this one, I did this application. And there are mistakes in the documents that you're getting. And I'm explicitly not gonna ask for special treatment. So I'm gonna ask for this hypothetical of how you would handle this kind of error if it wasn't me. So what you're looking at is last year's application. And so the dates are wrong.
Okay.
The numbers, everything else is the same. If you, and then go back and the first set of attachments that you see are last year's attachments. And I went back, used last year's as a starting point, as saved as, and I went over the document again and again and again. But if you then go back a little bit, you've got the 2027 attachments. So it's all there. It's just, but it is last year's application. The dates are for last year. So if you want to be strict, then you'll kick this application out and not fund this.
Why? Why would it be?
Because this application says I'm asking for money for last year. Those dates are passed. This committee could save.
But you
So-
said that all the documents that are required
All
are there.
all the required attachments are there. The application itself is incorrect. So I'm just pointing that out and I'm letting you guys know that the committee next week is gonna have to make that call. And I will stress that I will ask you to imagine any of these other applications being in this situation. Somebody puts last year's dates and say, and I think at least one time in the past,
We did.
a committee has not funded an event for that very reason. And so,
Even though all the attachments they had were correct.
I think that was before we were requiring all the attachments, it was a while back, I'm not positive.
I mean, we have the actual information that we need for this
Yes,
application.
yes, you just don't have the correct dates. And I'm not asking, the whole committee's gonna need to make that decision before, this is for scoring. And you can decide whether you wanna score it or not based on that, that's totally within your purview. But I just wanted to be clear about that. I saw that this morning and I was not best pleased, you might say. So let's see what. This year's event actually had somewhat lower attendance than last year's. I'm hoping to, BRI is putting on a conference right now in August, and I'm not gonna get their full attention until September to really start planning. Which will kind of put us behind, but have some thoughts about either, and I want to get their feedback on it, because the two ways I see that we could build this event would be, one is connect more directly with other university departments and get some more specific student attractant kind of activities that would bring those people in. Another is add more of a festival sort of event to get the general public, because it is, there, a lot of the content is research based, and that is a smaller niche audience.
I think we also need to talk about the time of year. I know January is because we have low visitation then, but with stuff outside, it has just been cold and
That's true.
it is not enjoyable when it is cold to be on an owl walk
The
or a
outdoor
bird
stuff.
walk or a hike up Hancock Hill or out. I mean, we moved the farmer's market part of it inside, but we lost the farmer's market audience because we didn't have room for all the vendors and all the outreach people. So we ended up splitting the crowd between the visitor center and the Granada. And we said that was still where we had the highest attendance. Like you said, it's more like an event festival type thing instead of the researchy talks.
Yeah,
So, but
and we had more lunch and learn. That was our highest attendance because we were in the same space.
yeah, so they
Yeah.
held over. But it's just like, I'm saying that the time of year is hard to be talking about wildlife outside.
That's true for outdoor events. And maybe, yeah, we explicitly picked that date, that's as Heather said, because it's our slow time.
Yeah.
And we're trying to add more things for people to come and do. And so in that sense, we're looking at, you might see 50 people come into town when we would have none before.
Yeah.
At most 50. I mean, we definitely had people from out of town who explicitly came because they saw our promotions and things like that. I got some anecdotal response and things like that. But I just let you know, it was, the attendance was modest.
Where do you think most of the people last year got saw the advertising? Where do you
It
think?
was Texas Highways
Interesting.
and.
We were
and
the
Tex-
cover of the events for the quarter, the big owl picture. That's
Yeah.
what most people heard of it.
I remember that.
And then
yeah.
I took it with me somewhere, Chris. I don't remember where I went before. Oh,
Yeah.
State Fair, probably.
Yeah. But given all that, John, would you like to score Wildlife Weekend for? Please, yeah.
You know, I think it's a wonderful idea. Give it a 3. I'm sorry, but
No, that's fair.
too early.
I'm back to, I've just really been thinking about the fact that it's an incorrect application
Mhm.
and we have thrown those out.
We have.
And so when we threw it out before, I
We
mean,
threw out more than one before.
because it was incorrect or because it was missing things?
That was, you won't even see them if they're missing, is the idea.
Okay. And so we have thrown them out because did the people who, if there was something incorrect, did the people who turned them in come and talk?
Nobody's ever come until tonight.
Okay.
I actually, these are open meetings, but I actually prefer for you guys to be able to discuss freely, even though if they're public,
Yeah.
it's recorded, but.
Well, right, but I was just wondering if any of those people came and like we had the conversation with them, like we've been able to have with you, is what I'm saying.
No, they were just thrown out.
They were just thrown out. Well, I mean, and I'm saying that is a little different. Like if they had come, would we have had that conversation with
It's all
them?
hypothetical because no, they've never come before
Right,
and the applications were incorrect and they were pulled.
right. But had they come, I might have been inclined to say, okay, you've come, I can hear what you're saying. This is what happened. There's nothing that disqualifies this, like, or we would have never seen it, I guess.
And there's not an existing policy like there is for the required attachments. And so I would put it to a vote, and I would prefer to put it to vote next week when hopefully there's more of the committee here, but it's for you guys to say, if one of you wants to make a motion on this question now, you're completely empowered to do so. Or we can talk about it more next week. You can also decide you don't want to score it, and that's totally cool. That's
You
fine.
guys do
So
your thing, I'm not gonna
so
score it.
we're gonna be zeros for Joanna throughout
Okay.
those scores.
Okay,
So, and it's for you guys
Okay.
to choose how you want to handle it. So what would you,
okay.
put for, impact on it?
For impact on it, I mean, the numbers, so if we had 150 last year from out of town, it said motels.
That was,
Right.
that was my
Okay.
hope. and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think we got that.
Okay, I see. Okay, so I'll, 5.
Professionalism and planning. It's super professional sitting in the.
I mean, I mean, but the event, so that's hard for me too. Like, I would love to have a work session to like, maybe in 5 months or whatever it is to just talk through like, are these the questions we want? What are, like that kind of thing, because I have a hard time saying, okay, professional and planning, right? Okay, so this isn't right, I wouldn't score high on that, but the event itself is what we're talking about, really.
But it is the event as it's,
Right.
as it's, presented within the,
Okay. Okay, so I will say, 5.
John, professionalism and planning, town planning.
6.
Capacity to put on the event, John?
Oh, a 10. Great place to do such a thing here in Alpine.
Diversity of revenue.
Okay, let's look at that. So we've got Borderlands is putting in Dixon Water.
It was 43% last
Okay.
year. I think we got it a little lower. We have more time.
I
But
see.
you wouldn't know that because it's not.
Okay. So other partners, Holland, Granada, Dixon, 7.
John, diversity of revenues.
8.
Anything newness or innovation from anybody?
What are the,
Oh.
what are there some new elements this year?
Are there anything specifically new? Yes, this year we did an Audad's wild game.
That was wildly popular. A lot,
Yeah, like dressing and cooking.
like how to
You get to
process an
shoot them?
audad and then they ate it.
Yeah. And for the next year, are there?
Well, that's where we're just
Oh, I
starting to
see.
plan, and
You're
I
planning now.
hope so.
Uh-huh.
Might be looking at a humanities Texas grant too,
For that.
or some
okay.
art.
That makes
aspects.
sense. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let's see what's next. Far West Texas.
So these partners aren't necessarily, but I'm sorry, from the last, those aren't.
Yeah,
necessarily funding
those are the,
partners.
we had more, this last year.
I see.
I didn't, it's this last one, this year, these were the partners. 'Cause
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
And those are like both in kind and,
Yeah, sponsors.
oh, okay. First, revenue.
Yes,
Okay.
these were the sponsors. That was the,
Oh, I see. Okay.
contributors.
Okay.
Let's see, Magical Warehouse. We have yet to be able to have a report from them because they had to bump their event to June.
Yeah, they got froze out this year. didn't they? They had a really good turnout the year before.
They did, and we're still enthusiastic. Because the kinds of things their event is about have a real strong community.
And I knew that exact weekend was the weekend it took us, so
Mm-hmm.
freaking, I was making it really messed up.
And so they're hoping, so now we're looking at funding for next year's January event.
What did we give them last year? 200.
Yeah. Whereas we gave them 15,000, they asked for 30, we gave them 15.
How did they do last year?
Their first year, they did pretty well for a first year. I mean, the place was pretty full. I think they had like 400
People standing.
Mhm. And they're building, they're building momentum because a lot of the draw is the actors, because it's like voice actors from cartoons that people watch and things like that. And the first year they were having to, knock on doors, so to speak, cold call the agents for these actors. But after they did the first year, now the representatives for these people are calling them and saying, "Oh, we want our person." And
And
so,
a pretty diverse group
Yeah.
of people that attend them too. It's not what you would normally see, in my opinion, coming into
I
Alpine,
agree. Yes.
which I liked.
Yeah.
Are they doing a cosplay?
Oh yeah, they
Art
had
to it? Yeah.
K-pop dancers and
A younger
cosplay
group.
contests
Oh, how cool.
and gaming tournaments of different kinds. But what would you score them for best guess on estimated? I mean, I think
I mean, it is really, those are kind of all out of town. 9?
Joanna, what about you? I think John?
8.
Professionalism and planning, John?
I don't know them very well, but I'm thinking they looked pretty good, and I think it's 7 is not bad.
Okay, Joanna? You have the application, 7? What about you, Keith? Capacity to put on the event, Joanna.
Home to the point of letting you get a bigger spot.
Yeah, they're looking at maybe Gallego Center.
Right, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's definitely the goal, is to grow it up.
7.
9.
John, capacity?
7.
Then diversity revenue, we're looking at 45% of their budget they're asking for. John, what would you say for diversity revenues?
I think that
Great.
8.
6.
Any newness or innovation points anybody wants to give?
3 for innovation, because it is very different and it is attracting a very different crowd. Young.
3.
Anything else, John?
I'll give them a 3 too. I think that's well worth it.
Okay. And now we're looking at Museum of the Big Bend. And They are on page 231 plus, we've got their attachments. In our news stat. It's through the university, they get some money there. They do, Traffic to Texas is the largest fundraiser. They also do, they get underwriters and sponsors for all of their receptions. So they get some money that way. They do the Heritage Dinner every year, which also is a fundraiser.
So,
And then they do an annual appeal to individual donors and things like that.
and so we're also have our grant request for traffic in Texas, right?
Yeah, they have historically separated that out, a separate one for trapping as an event, and then one for the rest of the museum activities.
And I want to support the museum, but this is also another one of those blanket umbrella kind of not foreign events.
Yeah, it does, it covers
You can't really,
about 4 different events and the general attendance.
so how does that equate to hotel stays?
And it is one of those things that I would say as visitor attractions, that the museum is our primary one.
People come here and stay.
That's a good question. Some of them, but the exact number is difficult. So, well, how would you score the museum's general and impact on hotel stays right now?
Don't know, I can put 0.
Chris, I think that the information we have with the Smithsonian planning right now is really important. With like, if we know that they can't charge their fee for just the 6 weeks that the Smithsonian exhibit is there because it has to be free, and that alone is going to be an $8,500 loss in revenue for them. So to put that in perspective, that's 850 visitors to the museum in just 6 weeks. And so like I'm driving back from the Smithsonian training right now in Kerrville, and like this is a asset that is hugely recognized by the rest of Texas, that we have in such a small place to have a world-class institution. I'm just saying that like I've been with the, working on museum stuff all day, and it's not something that most places our size have, and that we have to tell visitors to go to.
So what the Smithsonian is doing their exhibit there, what is that, just them having a place? Do they receive funds from the Smithsonian to have the exhibit there?
No, we get the privilege of hosting a
We
travel
just
show,
host
and
it.
we can then promote that we have a Smithsonian exhibit.
Okay.
And that's something that's engaging. Visit Alpine Texas Mountain Trail and the museum. That's happening this year though, and not
No,
not as
but
part of
she
the stuff.
should manage it.
And yeah, so but an example is because we had that data point, is that we were part of the rules of that is it has to be free to enter. And the museums right now isn't. So we were looking at, well, we need to get a sponsor who could underwrite the museum entry fee, for folks and make it free for that month. And they estimated for the month of July and the start of August, they were looking at $8,500 of revenue. That means at $10 a pop. That's 850 people.
So then this should have been written as a grant for that.
Well, that was last year. That was
Now,
last
that's
year.
not next year. That's just a perspective of visitation, and that's their slowest time of the year normally.
Thank you.
And so they expect 16,000 people to walk through the door. Some of those, now sometimes if somebody, whether or not they come to town for a specific thing, like Theater of the Big Ben often has been argued for by hotels as that might get people an extra night, because when somebody's here, they decide to go to the play and they stay and things like that. So one could extrapolate some room nights that way. We have a good activity, we get an extra night out of that.
But it's still an unknown.
It is an unknown, but you can
No,
can estimate
I'm not
one direction. or another.
arguing that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to follow. the
Yeah.
rule.
But you may assign the score that you see that too. Okay.
I do think this is the kind of thing that causes people to sometimes lengthen their trip here. 7.
John, impact on hotel stays, museum of the Big Ben
7.
in general? Professionalism and cleaning? 5, Kirsten. That's 10. John?
10.
Capacity, Kirsten?
10.
John?
Me too.
Would you join?
Have the capacity, there's no doubt about that.
Diversity of revenues, they estimate 10% of costs. John, what were you given for diversity of revenues?
Me Chihuahua 8.
Hey.
8.
Okay, Joanna? Would anyone like to give newness or innovation points? Okay, so then we're looking at trappings in Texas, which is our next post-it in our stack of additional attachments.
I'm sorry, I'm moving on. I think it's odd that in the revenue, there's no like general donations category. Because we know that they do get a lot of private donations.
They do, I think they're rolling those into memberships, because people get a membership when they donate, I'm guessing.
But I just mean like bigger gifts.
Oh, right.
You know, don't you think? Or not? I don't know. Okay, sorry. What is it? Diversion, okay.
Okay, so now we're looking at trappings of Texas. We're estimating 2,500 attendants.
This brings in a pretty good crowd.
Mhm.
I do know lots of people from around, you know, in Austin, people that I talk to that come into this.
Mhm. So what, Kirsten, what would you want to score it for? impact
I
on-
think it's a 10.
Okay, Joan,
I'll do 10 for trapping. What's it been?
John,
9, just to be different. It's sort of missing Jim Bones, you know what I mean?
oh, yeah. Okay, professionalism and planning, Joanna, okay, Kirsten, and John,
Same.
capacity to put on the event, Kirsten,
10.
and Joanna, John?
8, I think they're getting too small.
Oh,
They say 10% of event costs for this as well. What would you say for diversity, John?
9.
John, diversity of revenue,
Me too. No, yeah, I think that's a fair number.
okay. Any newness or innovation? Looking at Big Bend Bluegrass, which is also the next posted in your additional document. So we're looking at, this is the 5th Bluegrass Festival. We're expecting 300 plus. And it's held pretty steady. It's pretty solid. It's not a huge crowd, but it's it's enthusiastic. You know, the folks who like bluegrass certainly love it. I love that it happens, but sort of like with the classical guitar, having that extra different genres. But John, you have a score for impact on hotel stays?
6, please.
Okay, Kirsten?
6 sounds good.
Okay, how about you, Joyce? Professionalism and planning, go ahead. You want to point out this marketing plan?
Yeah. it's
She
quite a
she
marketing
was,
plan.
when I first saw this, I was like, did she like ask AI to generate this thing? It's so massive. But no, she was doing an MBA
Wow.
and she worked this plan as one of her projects. Yeah.
Wow, it is
Got
really
graded up.
impressive.
Yeah.
I mean.
And it didn't get included, right?
Right.
Yeah.
In the first,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is it my turn?
yes. Hey, professionalism and planning, John?
7.
Then we're looking at capacity to put on the event. Right?
How long has she been doing it?
This is the 5th.
5th year. Say nice.
Okay, John?
7.
First revenues, she's looking for 60% of total event costs. Here's what you say for that.
4.
Okay, John?
Folks with a lot of energy, I'd say 6.
Any newness or innovation points?
No.
Okay. Now we have our next 4th of July, also has the documents in your other file.
And it's the 250th anniversary.
It is.
Let's go to that packet and I saw no additional. What?
You're like, I know I saw those. Didn't figure out this year how they type in the form. I was scarred last year from Susie.
I know.
Yeah, I will admit it took me a while
Yeah.
to poke around.
Okay, so what do we see? Oh, excuse me. Remaining 1,000?
I mean, it's
It's the
so.
250th anniversary.
I know it is big. I mean, I got that estimate by looking at a picture and trying to extrapolate. I mean, it's so hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you don't have a gate that you're counting.
There's no gate, there's no, and people come and go and it's hard. I don't know if that's reasonable.
I think you have that in the parade,
Yeah.
to be
I mean,
honest.
right?
You talk about the parade of people on the side of the street.
Well, Joanna, what would you estimate for impact? So,
I'm gonna give her an 8.
and John?
5.
Professionalism and planning, John? John?
7.
Capacity to put on the event, John?
I'm sorry?
The capacity to put on the event?
Oh, God, a 10.
And
Diversity of revenues, we don't have a percent.
What? It was, oh. It is on the 44.
Got it, yeah. So she's looking for 43.78% of the event budget. Oh, you said for diversity. 8, John?
3.
Any newness or innovation?
No, do you have newness or innovation this year?
We're just always trying to make it better, but there's nothing like.
You never know
wild.
what's gonna.
You know, yeah.
We've got 2 more. Lone Star Cowboy Poetry Gathering, which is also in the stack. I think that's the last one in your side pile.
Oh, send people. Things like.
It's an open question that I'm waiting on. So they were really panicked this year about the military taking up the hotel room because they're always so packed, and they were really, really concerned about people coming and not being able to get room because they were just filled out. And they had been approached by some folks in Bastrop to do a Saturday event, and they did one at the same weekend. Heather's observation was far fewer people this year due to that. They had somewhat fewer performers in Alpine than usual. But I did with our visitor dashboard, we did kind of a test report for that event, looking at last year and this year in terms of the number of mobile devices observed and stuff. And they estimated a little bit more this year than last, which doesn't count.
I saw a lot of RVs come through.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
When you see that, you know, they came, they
Yeah.
didn't stay in the hotels.
Right. And that's always been the case. They've always been looking for RV space. They also filled every room. Of the
That was
hotels.
available.
Yeah, that we had. And so I had a call in to them, and I'm waiting to hear back. I asked them, to help me kind of vet that number that I'm seeing from the visitor dashboard. Just ask how many tickets did they sell, compared, but I haven't got that answer yet.
Quick question about the RVs. Do the RV parts pay hotel motel tax on
They
those?
pay sales tax, so their money could be used for any city infrastructure.
Okay.
They don't
But
pay
not
hot
hotel
tax.
motel. Okay.
How many poetry gathering is application?
260, page 260.
On the back side.
Yeah, just kidding. So thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, so given all that, we don't know. I suspect if they do that, they will do another Bastrop event. The reasoning that they had was that it would help the institution grow overall. That would, in terms of sponsorship, that they can attract more national level sponsors to help grow their budget. And if they have multiple events, and Bastrop is the larger market, they don't want to leave Alpine. And the only reason that they have them the same weekend this year is that was the only one that they could in Bastrop that was available for that venue. I strongly suspect they will have them at different times of year this coming year. But I just want to put that out there so you know what's been going on. So given all that, John, what would you score them for impact on hotel skills?
Boy, a 4.
Okay.
For cowboy poetry, 10.
Joanna? Professionalism and planning, Joanna? Kirsten? 10. John?
5.
Capacity to put on the events. Yeah, John?
This is a good one, isn't it? Yeah, let's keep it at 10.
Okay. Joanna? Okay. Diversity of revenues, they're looking for 24.9%.
And you look at their list of.
They could get out and hustle to get sponsorship.
I mean,
They do.
see
Yeah.
this list?
They also went to this membership model to try and raise money through the year, you know, more
That's smart.
consistently from people. Yeah, Bob Saul, the guy who's been kind of producing with them, he's a hustler. He really works it. Okay, here's 10. John?
8.
Any newness or innovation?
Thank you, Beth.
Oh.
Give them some.
Right. Theater of the Big Bend. Now, Theater of the Big Bend is provisional because we are going to need to confirm that they submitted those last two documents because there's 2 attachments I couldn't find, but they might have been used. So I'm gonna make this line red to remind me that's the case. So they look at about 1,000 people attending the plays in the season using the hotels.
So is this for alumni or is this for students?
Well, this is to the general public for the plays. Do this.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm getting confused. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
This is where we were talking about.
This is professional, right?
64. We will get that.
No.
Welcome to my world.
No, I'm.
This is actually a professional summer theater, right?
That's right. They changed that about 3 years ago.
3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And for one of a comment, I wish we had $500,000 or more to build them a good facility.
Yeah.
Or 3 million or whatever they cost these days.
I think I'd love to see them renovate the coconut down there. It's just
Yeah.
beautiful out there. Bring it out and renovate it.
So what would you give for impact on hotel stays? 7, Kirsten?
Me too.
Okay, John?
7. 777.
Professionalism and planning, Kirsten?
10.
Joanna? 8, John?
And 9.
I wish they'd do a Christmas outdoor thing like at Charles Dickens.
That would be-
That would be so much fun. Do popcorn, throw it at the village.
Capacity to put on the event, John?
5.
Okay, Kirsten?
10.
They're working with what they got, 10.
Okay, look at diversity of revenues, they say 15% is what they're looking for. Kirsten, what do you say? Joanna? John?
6.
Does anyone want to give innovation or newness points to Theater of the Big Bend in their 63rd season?
Do sometimes innovative. I feel like they're.
Now,
They're-
if they
they're
would
big
do
in
a
it.
Christmas deal.
Well, there you go.
I-
You just bring their
yeah, I-
chairs, their cocoa.
I would say their big innovation was 3 years ago
Yeah.
when they converted to that
Professional model.
professional model. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's old hat now. All right, well, that is scoring done.
Scoring done.
Let's check the agenda, see if we missed anything. Would any board members like to comment on anything at this time? That's on the agenda.
Not on.
I think we've commented all throughout.
Comment
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're here. Well, thank you guys so much.
You, Chris.
for the marathon.
Thanks for hanging in there.
effort. Yes, really appreciate it. And so we will adjourn at 8:50 PM.